Leicester City on a run of 7 straight wins in all competitions. If they win this evening against bottom club Watford, it will be a new club record, and goodness me, they might easily have been in front of the opening seconds, Tiss.
They may well have been. Jose Perez has missed a sitter. However, Jeff, I think it may have been ruled out for offside. Jamie Vardy got put through inside left channel. It was tight, but I think he was just off. He carries on. A couple of the Watford defenders seemed to stop for a little bit, which they shouldn't do. He got played to the whistle. And Vardy cuts in. He checks the ball back for Perez, who's only about 8 or 9 yards out, and he slides in right-footed and gets it over the crossbar. It was a poor finish, really, but I think it would have been ruled offside.
Thanks, Tiss. Emotional day on Saturday, wasn't it, for David Martin, keeping a clean sheet in that West Ham win on his Premier League debut at the age of 33. Can he keep a clean sheet again this evening against Wolves side, who just don't seem to know the meaning of the word fatigue? How's it begun, Tomo?
Oh, it's just settling down, Jeff. There's nothing much. It'd be interesting to see David Martin if he keeps it, because it was quite emotional, no matter what you talk about. And they say footballers shouldn't have the emotions that they do, and seeing that hug between David Martin and his dad was quite extraordinary and nice. This game's just settling down at the moment. Good atmosphere, though. Really good atmosphere.
Off to St Mary's next. Southampton against Norwich. Now, Norwich's only Premier League win at Southampton was in 1994. They won by a 1-0. Chris Sutton scored. Matt Le Tissier and Ian Dowie were on the losing side, and Franny Benali was sent off. So we clearly got the wrong pundit, didn't we? How's it started, Cammy?
It started good for Southampton. Tiss will be well pleased with this. They've really started on the front foot. They're playing the game in Norwich's half. And Danny Ings has had 2 decent opportunities down the left-hand side to find people in the middle. But to be fair to Norwich, they've cut both of those chances out. Shane Long, as you quite rightly know, is working his socks off and causing that Norwich defence quite a few problems, just running here, there and everywhere. And it's Southampton on top.
Southampton on top at the moment, but still no goals. Do you feel there have to be goals at Old Trafford this evening? Manchester United and Tottenham defending is not the strong point for either of these two sides. Any early opportunities, Merce?
No, nothing at the moment, just quite scrappy. The only good thing about it, Moura got the ball out on the right and skipped past Ashley Young like he wasn't there, so I think they've got to keep on feeding him the ball and having a go. But nothing really happening at the moment, still 0-0.
Leicester have won all 5 home Premier League meetings with Watford. Watford are managers. Remember, Hayden Mullins is temporarily in charge. Has been any response from Watford at that early Leicester chance, Tess?
It was one dangerous cross that's gone in, Jeff, but Watford didn't have the bodies in the box to get on the end of it. But that's about it at the moment. Leicester looking the livelier side in the early exchanges.
We talked about Willian quite a bit recently when we've been touching on Chelsea. Some Chelsea fans think he's in the form of his life. He's been involved already, Charlie.
Yeah, it was a very good shot. Good, not a counter-attack, but Aston Villa decided to drop Mings in his back, the other back 3 players. They just retreated 10 yards, which meant a little bit of space in there. Pulisic and Willian was just waiting to get it. Abraham's made a nice run to the left-hand side, Jeff, to take the defender away. We set up a little simple pass to the right. Decent shot, easy save. Corner came to nothing, but it's first attempt and goal from Chelsea.
Ayoze Perez has been involved a lot already at the King Power Stadium, Tess.
Yeah, he should have scored, Jeff. Jamie Vardy in again down the left-hand side, checks back onto his right foot, clips the ball into the box. Mariappa gets a head on it, it loops it to the back post, and Perez is all on his own. He comes in on it right foot, on his strong foot, and he's completely missed it, his volley, and it's skewed the ball back across goal, back towards Jamie Vardy, who was actually offside then. But a really good chance for Perez, and he's wasted it.
You feel there have to be goals at St Mary's this evening as well. I mean, Norwich City, the visitors, have conceded 30 goals. There's only one side in the league who've conceded more than that, and that's Southampton, who've conceded 32. Any chances, Cammy?
No, they haven't had a chance, but they've just had their first bit of decent possession and got the ball up to Pukki, and that's good for them at this moment in time. Really been on the back foot since the game started, but this is such an open game, you know. Even though they're playing high press, Southampton, Norwich is still trying to play through them. Instead of thinking for the first 10 or 15 minutes, let's go a little bit longer, they're still playing their football, Norwich.
Still playing their football, but no goals so far. Off to Molineux. Wolves, you know, unbeaten in 9 Premier League games. Now, they've not gone 10 Premier League games unbeaten since 1971 to 72, when even Phil Thompson was still a young man.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, this was quite incredible.
Goal!
Always talk about sort of, let's go to Merson, I think, Jeff.
I told you there would be goals at Old Trafford, and there has been one, but which way's it gone, Merce?
And it's Man United all 1-0 up, Jeff. And it's Sanchez who sort of half made a mistake. He got to clear it and he slipped over. It's gone to Rashford. He's gone into the box, corner of the left-hand side, and he hits it as hard as he can. A bit like Zaha last week for Palace against Burnley. And as he hits it near post, I think the keeper's got to save this, and he doesn't. It's a poor goalkeeping from the keeper. He's got to do better, the keeper, and it's 1-0 to Man United.
Yeah, Gazaniga's just got to do better than that. There's no doubt about it. But Marcus Rashford with his 11th goal of the season. And one thing that Jose Mourinho's not been able to do is to stop Spurs leaking goals. They've conceded 2 in all 3 games under him before tonight. Let's go back up to Stamford Bridge then. Chelsea against Aston Villa. Have we seen anything of Grealish yet, Charlie?
Yeah, just that first few minutes he was involved. It's interesting because we were touching on Mount and Grealish. And Grealish is probably... is the better all-rounder in terms he wants on the ball a bit more, wants more touches on the ball, whereas young Mount wants to run off at Abrahams. But he's not really been involved since then. In fact, Aston Villa with McGinn, who's playing a little bit deeper, he's given the ball away quite cheaply on a few occasions, which caused a little problem or two for Chelsea. But the Chelsea back two of Zuma and Christensen, for me, I think you can get at them tonight. But are they bold enough to go and do that? It'll probably be down to Grealish and McGinn to try and get further forward from midfield and see if they can support the strikers.
By the way, if you're wondering why Alan McInally's uncharacteristically quiet at the moment, is because he will be watching Liverpool against Everton a bit later. We're just letting him keep an eye on Aberdeen against Rangers as well, if anything happens in that. He will tell you what it is. In the meantime, back to the game between Leicester and Watford. Tiss, you wouldn't exactly say Watford have got their backs to the wall, but they are camped in their own half. Yeah,
they are. They've not really threatened the final third of Leicester just yet, but by the same token, Ben Foster hasn't been troubled in the Watford goal either, despite... You know, Ayoze Perez should have tested him on 2 occasions so far, but he's wasted both of them. But at the moment, they've just not been able to hold the ball up enough to get them up the pitch and threaten Leicester's final third.
By the way, there is a full Scottish programme this season. I mentioned Aberdeen against Rangers, but there's also Celtic against Hamilton. They're the 2 sides who are joined at the top of the table. Let's go back to Stamford Bridge because there's been a fantastic opportunity just a second or 2 ago for Chelsea, and it fell to the man they'd have wanted it to fall to, Charlie.
Absolutely, Jeff, bang on. And, you know, it's a pretty poor defensive header. And then all of a sudden, they lose it again. Trezeguet, they lose it. And then it's a little pitch into there. Mings' header from his own 6-yard box was really poor. No distance on it. Fell beautifully for Abrahams, who just had a simple volley, but he went really quick onto it. Didn't get his technique right. Chance is gone.
Chance has gone. West Ham, you know, have got more points away from home than at home. Are they playing like the side, Tomo, who prefer to play away from home?
They're playing sort of quite comfortable. There's a corner kick on the right-hand side. Snodgrass is taking it at the moment, Jeff. Obviously, it's going to be an in-swinger. It's a poor delivery. It's gone to the near post. It frustrates me. Honestly, I don't know why they just can't. These guys, great technique that they have. They should be giving the majority of the things, putting them right there, giving everybody a chance. And again, it doesn't get beyond that near post. And so he's a better technician than that. This Snodgrass should do better.
should do better, but didn't on this occasion. He's been one of their better players this season. It is absolutely for sure. So Manchester United have got the only goal of the night so far. Marcus Rashford scoring after 6 minutes. Is it fair to say, Merson, that Spurs haven't really started?
Cool, definitely haven't. It looks like they've just thought they were going to turn up at Old Trafford and wipe the floor with Man United. Man United have been very good, played at a good tempo, kept the ball past and moved, and they've looked a much, much better team at the moment and thoroughly deserve to be 1-0 up. They've got to get going, Tottenham. Still 1-0.
Got to get going, but they haven't done so far. Still no goals in the game between the sides who are third from bottom and second from bottom, Southampton and Norwich. Of course, Ralph Hasenhüttl is celebrating, if that's the right word, a year in charge at Southampton. Has he had much to celebrate, Cammy?
No, nothing at all. They're both trying to outpass each other rather than getting the ball forward. Ward-Prowse had a free kick 10 yards inside the Norwich half, and he passed it back to his centre-half, who then passed it back to his goalkeeper. And I could hear the groan from here, Jeff. It was just the Southampton fans saying, what are you doing? Let's just throw it in the box. Let's take a chance. Let's try and get a long ball in amongst that defence and see if we can get anything for it. At the moment, it's a lovely football match played in midfield.
A lovely quote from Daniel Farke, the Norwich manager, this week. He was talking about his team's eating habits. He said, there is a time and a place for McDonald's, but it's not ideal to drink 4 milkshakes 3 hours before a game. Well, didn't bother you, Tiz, did it? Now then, Spurs have got to get going, and here's a chance for them to get going. Merce.
Yeah, Harry Kane about 25, 30 yards out, right-hand side, Jeff. He's the one who won the foul. Fred brought him down. He's just got to take it now. His right foot, he's going to go over the wall, trying to go to the near post. Steps up, over the wall and over the bar. Still 1-0.
Still 1-0 the scoreline there. That's the only goal we've got in any of the Premier League games so far this evening. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 0, Leicester 0, Watford 0, Southampton 0, Norwich City 0, Wolves 0, West Ham United 0. And it's all quiet on the Scottish front as well. At the moment, we're back with more in just a couple of minutes.
Down the wing, Jeff, and because of his pace, he's got there just before Winks, who slides in, and Winks is a little bit late. Nothing, but malicious, and he goes off the pitch, but he rolls down the hill and he hits his head on the concrete on the floor. Winks got booked, thought it was a little bit harsh, but James is all right now. He's back up and it's game on.
Back to St Mary's. Big night, by the way, for Nathan Redmond. This, of course, he had a lot of appearances for Norwich, 123 appearances for Norwich, and then moved to Saints for £11 million. Will his old club Norwich have been impressed by Redmond so far, Cammy?
No, not at all, Jeff. He looks a bit nervy. Having said that, quite a lot of the players are looking nervy out there. Southampton, having had that early bit of possession, now are struggling to find a little bit of form, and it's Norwich who are just coasting a little bit now. They're passing the ball around at the back, keeping possession, keeping it away from Southampton, and that high, the early press that they had early on is more or less faded away a little bit.
OK, remains goalless in that game, remains goalless at the King Power as well. Leicester, 33 goals this season. Only Manchester City have scored more than that. Is there any sign of Watford getting a toehold in this one, Tiss?
Yeah, they're not in any danger, to be honest, Jeff. Leicester passing the ball around a little bit, but not really getting anywhere. And Ben Foster certainly hasn't been tested. They probably find themselves a little bit unfortunate a couple of minutes ago. Kapui made a great tackle in the middle of the park. The referee, Pawson, has decided that it was a foul. Got 100% got the ball, and I thought it was a decent challenge, but referee disagreed, and it's Leicester in possession, but not really threatening at the moment.
And as Tiss was talking there, Manchester United have conceded. It's Tranmere 1, Manchester United under-21s 0, and Russian Hepburn Murphy is the man who's got. I'm really sorry. I couldn't resist. Yeah.
You got a throw one up the other end. I'm like, where did that go in?
And in the same competition, the Leasing.com Trophy, half-time, it's Exeter 0, Oxford United 0. They could meet, of course, in the third round of the FA Cup. I was down at Exeter at the weekend. Thank you to everyone for their hospitality. It's an absolutely fantastic club. Let's go and see what's happening at Stamford Bridge, shall we? Chelsea against Aston Villa. What will Frank Lampard make of what he's seen so far, Charlie?
Well, I just had a shot of him there, and he looks a little bit concerned, probably, as a look, because they've had one attempt from Willian, which Heaton found easy to save. That little half chance for Abrahams had got his volley all wrong. Other than that, they've not really showed too much penetration and going in and hurting Aston Villa. On the other hand, McGinn's getting a little bit frustrated. He's given the ball away a couple of times. Grealish just went a little bit quiet. Reece James down the right-hand side for Chelsea at the moment, trying to link up with Willian. But no real solid attempts coming in to really get excited about for Chelsea or Villa.
Manchester United already one goal to the good. This is the real Manchester United, not their under-21s. And here's a bit of an opportunity again, Merce.
Yeah, Rashford with a free kick. He's about 25 yards out, sort of near on middle of the goal, right-hand side. So it's a good one for him to put it over the wall. He's got a good chance. It wasn't booked. It wasn't the worst of fouls. But Rashford got a great opportunity. 25 yards out, just right of centre, Jeff. And the whistle blown. Go on then. Runs up, hits it. Oh, he just goes wide. Keeper probably had it covered, but he's gone to give the keeper the eyes. Keeper has it covered. Still 1-0. Yeah,
he did the first part of the job really well as well. Because he told Fred he wasn't going anywhere near that free kick. They still lead by a goal to 0. Back to the game at Molineux, shall we? Wolves only had 2 league defeats all season long. Lost 1 of 15 home Premier League games, so you would fancy them against West Ham, wouldn't you? Have you seen anything from Wolves as an attacking unit then, Tomo?
No, not really. The only thing is, and I think Nuno Espirito Santo must take great sort of satisfaction in how we've moaned about Adama Traore for years, Jeff. That has been no end product or whatever. Now he's looking a completely different player. He seems to be the go-to player when they get a chance. Jota trying to sneak through the box. But everything that he does, and he must have worked on him for that final ball, because every time he gets there, he dinks it up now to create confusion. Not been any chances came for either side, but I'm just looking at the improvements of him, and that comes down to a manager getting the best out of a player when other managers have not done with Traore.
Still goalless at the moment. Charlie, I asked you about Jack Grealish a minute or two ago. What about Mason Mount? Yeah,
well, he's got involved in the last couple of minutes here. He actually had a really good chance for a header. Willian, just looking for Pulisic again, but overhit the pass. And it was a decent cross coming from Kante, but it was a really soft header. It was easy save for Heaton. And then straight after that, a quick pass. He finds himself in the number 9 position where Abrahams is going wide, but he takes on a left foot shot from the edge of the box. And it's really, really wild. And we've not really got any any half-decent attempts going yet, but Chelsea just starting to ask questions of the Villa's defence. Not seeing anything so far up front of Trezeguet or Wesley for Villa.
Referee, just having a word with one of the Norwich players down at St Mary's. What was that, Cammy?
Todd Cantwell just pulled back James Ward-Prowse there, and he's given a free kick away. On the left-hand side, it's pretty dangerous because you know the delivery that Ward-Prowse has got, so he's going to fire this in. There's no danger of that. Him and Bertrand just stood over the ball. The zonal marking from Norwich, as we can see, they're actually in two lines, so they're ignoring nearly all of the Southampton players, so they've got to beat the zone to try and get in a header in any way, shape or form. He's just putting the ball down, is Ward-Prowse, having a little look into the middle to see where he can actually affect this game. I think he'll put this right on the goalkeeper, Tim Krul, and that's exactly what he does. He puts the ball in, and there's Danny Ings just to get his head on it and flick it in towards the goal. That's a set play that's been rehearsed, and Danny Ings has finished it off.
Called it perfectly, Cammy. Brilliant ball in from James Ward-Prowse. Danny Ings with the goal there. He's got 9 in his last 10, and this amazing run goes on. Nobody other than Danny Ings or James Ward-Prowse has scored a goal for Southampton since September the 14th. But as long as Ings keeps on doing it, and as long as James Ward-Prowse keeps delivering, doesn't really matter, does it? Southampton lead by a goal to nil. That's the second goal of the evening. Let's go back to Molineux. Wolves against West Ham. We talked about David Martin earlier on. Has he had anything to do, Tomo?
Well, he has just now, Jeff, because he's had to tip one over the bar. It took a bit of a deflection. He was trying to cross it, took a deflection. Took no chances. Just flicked it over the bar. Corner kick coming in. There's a chance here to go! Wolves have scored. Nobody deals with it. None of the West Ham defenders. It comes across saying, when you've got corner kicks, put them in the middle. Give people a chance, and this one, there was no West Ham players. I can't see who's gone for the ball. I think it was Dendoncker maybe, but the ball's come from the left-hand side, driven right to the 6-yard box. Nobody right on the line, and he just puts his foot up there. I think it is Dendoncker, and he just stabs it past everybody, watches it, clips the inside of the post. It's 1-0 to Wolves.
What happened, Tomo, to the days of having a defender on the post? Because the defender on the post clears it every day of the week.
There's enough of them, Jeff. There's plenty of players back there doing nothing. So they could have done it, and somebody have had an easy chance because the ball trickled over the line.
Never mind that mess, we'll get you in a moment because there is a goal at Stamford Bridge. Charlie?
Yeah, and Abrahams has scored. There's not a big celebration from him. Don't know what the surprise on that is because...
Well, because he scored 26 goals for Villa last season.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He's a Chelsea player. He was a Chelsea player then, and he went on loan. But for me, I mean, he's been quiet, hasn't he? He's had a few injuries. Willian gets to the right, then he sets it up. Little pitch comes in. He's onside. It's poor defending from El Mohamedou, who plays him onside, and it's a simple header. I'm sorry. Go and celebrate a goal. You're playing for Chelsea.
Showing some respect to his old club. Respect, Charlie. Not a word you're familiar with.
Very true, Jeff. Very true.
It's his 12th goal of the season, and he did not celebrate. Manchester United a goal to the good against Spurs. That Marcus Rashford goal. The way things are going, do you get the feeling there are more goals to come from United, Merson?
Tottenham are looking a little bit more of a threat, Jeff. Their final pass has been poor into the box, but just now, ball comes into the box. There's a good layoff by Rashford to Greenwood, who has a real good shot. A lot of bodies around, hits it low, and it's a good save by the keeper. Goes through bodies, and it's a good save with his feet, and it goes for a corner. The corner was shocking, but Man United still in the ascendance, and it's still 1-0.
So goals in all of the 7:30 kickoffs, apart from the game between Leicester and Watford. But Leicester have had another opportunity, have they, Tiss?
Yeah, they did, Jeff. Maddison just injected a little bit of pace into the forward play. Lovely little 1-2 with Barnes. He slipped Barnes back into the inside left channel. I thought Barnes was going to square it across goal. He's gone to try and beat the goalkeeper at the near post, but his shot has gone into the side net, and best chance so far for Leicester.
Let's go. I tell you, I've got to fess up. Manchester United have scored. The under-21s. I'm not going to do it again. It's when I saw the name, I thought, well, it could be the first team because it's Tahith Chong who's got the equalising goal for them against Tranmere at Prenton Park. Alan McInally actually isn't watching a game, he's just here to make up the numbers, that's all. Oh, you are? You're watching Aberdeen against Rangers. What's happening, big man?
I am. I'm going to watch the first half of this game because I'm on a bit of a scouting mission for Celtic before the cup final on Sunday. And Rangers have been fantastic. They really have. And Morelos is a little unlucky. He doesn't score here. Poor by Greg Lee. He's control was shocking. Morelli's got in and Joe Lewis made a good save. There's been 11 red cards in 12 games in this meeting. Out with the old firm. This is a big game in Scotland, and there's certainly plenty of tackles going in at the moment. Sam Cosgrove, very lucky he doesn't pick up a red. Could have been a yellow, but referee decided, John Beaton, to let him off with. It's another corner for Rangers. Tavernier with the ball in, header, and Helen does a little unlucky. Good start by Rangers, 0-0.
Peterborough 0, Ipswich 1 on the leasing.com trophy. It's the Ipswich Tunisian midfielder Idris El Mazouni who has got the opening goal there, and a big shout from Paul Merson. What happened at Old Trafford?
Oh, great effort by Rashford. It's a ball about 25 yards out. It beats the goalie and it rockets against the bar and comes back out. It's a great effort. It's all Man United at the moment. Keeper touches it. I didn't think he did, but if he does, it's a great save.
Good night for the home side so far. They're Manchester United leading Spurs by a goal to 0. Chelsea a goal up against Aston Villa. Wolves a goal up against West Ham, and Southampton a goal up against Norwich. We'll have more for you when we come back in a couple of minutes on this Gillette Soccer Special. Goal to tell you what, in Scotland, Celtic always beat Hamilton, or so it seems. They've beaten them on the last 10 meetings, and they are on their way again, Mark Benstead.
Yeah, they certainly are, Jeff. I was just thinking to myself a moment ago that Hamilton actually started the game reasonably well. It was quite tight. There were very few chances for either side. Then bang, Celtic do what Celtic tend to do. They get themselves a goal. Lewis Morgan playing as a false nine again for Celtic today. Had a shot from the left-hand side. The keeper, Luke Southwood, made the save, but Ryan Christie followed in from close range. First time left-footed to slot it home. 2 goals the weekend. He's on the score sheet again tonight. Celtic 1, Hamilton 0.
You're certainly leading by a goal to nil. Rangers being held at the moment by Aberdeen. Manchester United leading Spurs by a goal to nil. I just wonder if there's a danger, Merce, that Manchester United might live to regret some of their missed opportunities.
Well, yeah, it's Casanigi against Man United at the moment, Jeff. He's been absolutely outstanding bar the mistake. He makes a great save from Rashford. He did make that save, and then he makes another real good save. Rashford cuts inside, bends it into the far corner, and then again, similar thing. Rashford can't get enough bend on it, it goes wide. It is all Man United. Playing with a swagger at the moment, Jeff. Look very, very good.
Doncaster Rovers 0, Leicester's under-21s 1. Admiral Muskway, the goal scorer. Doncaster all at sea as the Admiral scores. Let's go and find out what's happening at Stamford Bridge. Just glancing down, looks like Aston Villa are edging their way more into this game, Charlie.
Yeah, just gradually getting a little bit of the ball, trying to get McGinn and Grealish onto it. They two have linked up just about 35, 40 yards out. But no real issue for Chelsea in terms of the corner that Villa have won, but it's a hopeful corner for Target going down. He just knocked it against the shins of Reece James. He gets the corner. But seen nothing of, Trezeguet, who's worked his socks off down the flank. And Wesley up front has not had a snap, not a thing has he done in the game. But Mings is threatened in one corner in particular, and he's got another chance here.
Not kept an away clean sheet all season, of course, Aston Villa, and conceded this evening. But they, have lost at Spurs and Arsenal and drawn at Manchester when they've led, so maybe they're going to do it the other way around this time. Let's go and find out what's happening in the game between Leicester City and Watford. We talked a lot about Leicester so far, but of course Troy Deeney's back in the Watford starting lineup this evening. Tiss, has he been involved at all?
He's not really been involved too much in the game, to be honest, Jeff. We've just got a little break at the moment because Sarah's landed awkwardly on his hip. He's needed a little bit of treatment. But Leicester still dominating possession. 70% they've had so far.
Goal!
Oh. Anyway, not a lot happening here. McInally's got a goal.
He has, but who's it gone to, Aberdeen or Rangers, Alan McInally?
This was not a matter of when, this is if or how many possibly, because Rangers have absolutely battered Aberdeen. I don't remember Alan McGregor and the Rangers goal touching it. It's great play down the right-hand side, and who else? The skipper. Tavernier down the right-hand side, ball into the middle, little Scott Arfield ghosting into the box, not picked up, and sticks it in the corner. This is going to be a few. Aberdeen have been all over the shop here. Rangers deserve this by a mile. 0-1.
His first league goal since August, putting Rangers in front. Pablo Fornals has not scored a goal for West Ham so far, but he won't get much closer than he just has, Tomo.
Come closer, Jeff. It was a great link-up between Anderson, out on the left-hand side corner of the box, lays it in from him, he gets it. Jack Grealish trying to bend it in that same top corner. Fantastic bender going right there. Just showing it again just now, Jeff. And Rui Patricio gets up right in the top corner and just claws it away. Fantastic effort, fantastic save.
The AFL Trophy, Bristol Rovers lead Leyton Orient by a goal to nil. Alfie Kilgore is the man who's got the goal after 16 minutes. Back to the game between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Chelsea still leading through that Tammy Abraham goal relatively early in the game. What's happening now, Charlie?
Well, Villa had a good spell there. They had two corners. Grealish put good fizz in the crosses, a little bit of dip in it. But eventually when it cleared the second one, Hourihane tries a little flick to the edge of the box. Boom, Chelsea are on them. And then there's three against three. But Abraham's with Pulisic in the left-hand side. He's waiting and waiting for him. But he had target one-on-one. He should have been taking him on with his pace and his movement. He should have taken him on. And it ended up as a really weak pass. Still 1-0 Chelsea.
Southampton leading Norwich by virtue of a set play a few moments ago. Norwich having to defend another set play, Cammy.
They are indeed, and it's that zonal line again. But to be fair to them, the zonal line actually made a header this time. Here's Danny Ings with a shot with his left foot. But it came off the back of Aarons, and Tim Krul was able to get it just there then. So he stayed down, did Aarons, when that ball hit him. So I presume the physio's going to come on, but he'll be fine, Jeff.
Ricky J. Jones has equalised for Peterborough against Ipswich in the EFL Trophy. He's got 3 in his last 4. Manchester United leading Spurs by a goal to nil. Any hint that Spurs might just bother flickering into life tonight at all, Paul Merson?
They're a little bit, Jeff, not really. I mean, just now got in a great opportunity and ball goes well over everybody. They're getting around the box, but as I said before, their final pass is not good enough. And Man United look a much better threat, Jeff. You wouldn't believe it at the moment. You wouldn't think this Tottenham team had won 3 games on the trot and scored bundles of goals. It's Man United the better team.
Manchester United have had 8 attempts on the Tottenham goal already in that game. Only one of them has counted. Marcus Rashford was the man who got that goal. I think Leicester could only dream of having 8 attempts against Watford in the early stage. Will Brendan Rodgers be concerned, Tess?
Slightly concerned at the lack lack of clear-cut chances that they've created at the moment. But Watford very well organised tonight, not really committing loads of men forward. The odd occasion that they do actually is when Leicester look a little bit dangerous on the break because, oh, there's a chance here. Oh, brilliant football. Oh, can Barnes finish it? Oh, Foster with a good save. Lovely football in and around the box. Harvey Barnes should have done better, I think. Foster does well. Pereira's still there. Oh, corner for Leicester. Now they're piling the pressure on these last couple of minutes.
Piling the pressure on, but still deadlocked in that game. It's not deadlocked, of course, at Molineux. Wolves leading West Ham by a goal to nil. David Martin being called into action again, Thomas.
Certainly has, Jeff. And this is great because it's Diogo Jota. He gets in between the lines. There's no stopping it and going back. He turns. He attacks the defence of West Ham. And he gets towards the edge of the box. He gets a great shot away. And David Martin, to his right-hand side, had to turn it away. Another corner kick to Wolves on the right-hand side.
So Wolves doing all the pressing at the moment. They've now scored, by the way, in 14 consecutive Premier League games. Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Chelsea leading Aston Villa by a goal to nil. You get the feeling another goal would settle any Chelsea nerves that they might have playing at Stamford Bridge, Charlie?
Yeah, that would be the case. It would probably deflate Villa because they've not really had a go at Chelsea at all. Little wide areas, but nothing. A couple of free kicks and corners. Came to not a lot. Chelsea are not playing overly impressively, but at the same time, if they get that second goal, Jeff, it would be a lovely cushion for them.
It would be indeed. They haven't got that cushion at the moment. No VAR involvement at all in any of the games so far this evening. Isn't that a pleasant change? Still, there's a long way to go. As yet, back to the game between Southampton and Norwich. Southampton leading by a goal to nil. Have you been disappointed in Norwich, Cammy?
Yeah, very much so, Jeff.
Penalty.
If you're Timo Pukki up front, do you want to go to Tiss?
Yellow card for Vardy.
Right, OK. Match out a penalty. Then he's changed his mind. Now, with VAR, we'll have a look at this, won't they, Tiss?
Yeah, they'll definitely have a look at this. Craig Pawson has adjudged Jamie Vardy to have dived here. He's got to the ball in front of the defender. He gets a toe on it before the defender, and I think he catches him. I think this is going to be a penalty. Mariappa, I think, catches him. Pawson has said that Jamie Vardy has dived and given him a yellow card.
Well, I've seen it from another angle now.
Go to VAR.
Not so sure, are you?
You've got to go with the angle that you see it.
I've seen two angles.
Yeah, that's why you get VAR, though.
But it's going to be interesting because it's obviously it's got to be a clear and obvious error, and I'm not sure it's obvious enough for him to overturn it to a penalty.
Okay.
Craig Pawson is the man in charge. Peter Banks is the VAR. And it's going to be a relatively long delay. Well, looking at that angle, it's a penalty. What do you think, Tiss?
Decisions, no penalty. They haven't overturned it.
Surprise?
I think it looks like a penalty. I think it looks like a penalty, but not
it did, certainly from that initial angle. And Jamie Vardy can't believe it. He's shaking his head. He would have had a glorious opportunity to add to his scoring when he scored in his last 6 games, of course. Remember when he scored in 11 games in the Premier League in succession, I think in 2015? There we go. I mentioned VAR and what happens. It rears its ugly head almost immediately. Lee Angol has equalised for Leyton Orient in their AFL Trophy match against Bristol Rovers. 1-apiece is the scoreline there, and still the Red Swarms come forward at Old Trafford. Paul Merson.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, McTominay, and it gets cleared. It's Man United. They're the ones who look the more the threat. They're really playing with a lot of pace and energy today, Jeff. And then McTominay gets into the box, bursts in, and it's cleared away. But it's Man United, the better team, still 1-0.
Aberdeen trailing Rangers by a goal to nil in the Scottish Premiership. Any sign of Aberdeen showing signs of life at all, Alan McInally?
Not a thing. Haven't had a kick. Rangers have been very good. Kept the ball. Possession's got to be 75, 80%. Honestly, there's been nothing for Alan McGregor to do. Sam Cosgrove, I said earlier on, Jeff, had a couple of tackles. If you like a little tipple and an in-play and bet responsibly, he might not be a bad idea for a red card because he's heading for yellow and he'll be sitting on a tightrope, and we've only played 24, 25 minutes. Rangers deserve every bit of this. Will not be surprised if they score another one. 0-1.
Ryan Christie with his 16th of the season has got Celtic in front against Hamilton. It's Hearts 0, Livingston 0, Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 0, and Ross County 0, Hibs 0.
What goal!
A goal to tell you about in the game at Old Trafford. It has been one-way traffic, but now the traffic has turned the other way. Paul Merson.
It's only changed the other way because this is an unbelievable goal, this is. It's Tottenham get on the attack. First song, great feet. He should toe poke it. He doesn't. Comes back out to Vertonghen. He crosses it. He gets clear to the far post. Oreo has a shot saved by De Gea, all of a sudden, Ali flicks it over 2 players and volleys it. It's an unbelievable football goal, this is, and it's 1-1. It goes over his head, chips it back over his head, and it's a phenomenal goal, Jeff. 1-1.
It's the sort of goal you thought he would never score again, to be honest, until Jose Mourinho arrived at Tottenham. He's got 4 in 3 and 6 for the season now, and this was an absolutely fantastic goal. And it's bang against the run of play as well, because Manchester United have totally dominated that game. But a 39th minute equaliser. Back to the game between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Chelsea leading by a goal to nil. Aston Villa lost 5 of their 7 away games, not threatening too much the last we heard. There is a VAR check, by the way. There's a VAR check at Old Trafford, and they're looking at whether it's come off his arm, I think, Merson, aren't they?
You'll be talking about goal of the season here, and if they disallow this, because he flicks it and it sort of hits the shoulder of his hand, shoulder of his arm. And for me, he's got to give a goal. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's his shoulder.
Well, look, it's going to take some time to resolve. While it does, let's hear about a second goal at Stamford Bridge. Charlie?
Yeah, it's an equaliser, and it's their first real attack. But Grealish was heavily involved, and so was McGinn. Don't know if we've got VAR going to check this, because it might have just hit his hand. But at the moment, it looked as if the lovely build-up, first real time. El Mohammadi, Grealish with a little disguised pass. McGinn flicks it back to El Mohammadi. Cross is lovely. Trezeguet comes in, and I think he's all right. He doesn't get a clean header in it. He's kind of ducking a little bit. But the defender, Reece James, is also struggling. He actually headers it onto his own feet, and it stumbles its way into the net. This is 1-1.
It's not a thing of great beauty, but I think it's probably going to stand. And the good news for Tottenham fans is that the goal, Merce, will stand.
Yeah, and for football as well, Jeff, because that was a proper goal. Proper goal. And, I mean, if it did, it would have literally just touched his shoulder, I thought. And it's just a phenomenal football goal. 1-1. Football wins that one.
Yeah, it does indeed. Dele Alli on the goal trail at the moment. And so too, by the way, as Trezeguet has got 3 in his last 4. And every time I look at the action from St Mary's, it's Southampton on the front foot. Is that the case,
It is,
Cammy?
Jeff. Yeah, Danny Ings is in such fantastic form. He's such a threat. Every time he gets the ball, he causes a problem. And he's just... well, it was Shane Long who's just headed the ball down from a corner. That zonal marking has done them once again. And it's Bertrand who goes running in. That zonal marking, they just stand still like statues, the Norwich defenders. And once again, a set play and 2-0 to Southampton.
Ryan Bertrand, who's the former Norwich loanee in the dim and distant past, but Southampton very much on top. And maybe they've laid the curse, if you like, at the weekend when they beat Watford at home, first home win of the season. Are they going to follow up against fellow relegation strugglers Norwich City? Norwich were pretty impressive as well at times against Arsenal. So not impressive tonight, though. 2-0 the scoreline there. 43 minutes on the clock. Let's go and find out what's happening, shall we, in the game at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City won the last 6 home Premier League games. It's their best run since 1966. Brendan Rodgers, I would imagine, is going to be pretty miffed, to say the least, by the fact that that Jamie Vardy penalty appeal was ruled out. What's happening now, Tess?
Not a great deal at the moment, Jeff, to be honest. I think Leicester are still struggling to break down Watford. Delafeu had a free kick wide out on the right-hand side. I thought he was going to cross it. It was a good position to try and get a cross in. He's actually gone for the shot, and he's whipped it over the back post, and it's only just gone wide. It was a decent effort in the end. But, yeah, Leicester just struggling to break Watford down. Watford have kept their shape very, very well, and they're on the counter-attack now, Jeff. There's a 4-against-4 attack going on here. Delafeu up against Evans, one-on-one, corner of the box. He doesn't take him on. He chooses to go backwards. But Watford's still in possession. Capoue 35 yards out. Is he going to have a shot? Nope. Delafeu. Oh, into the box. Chance. Will Hughes. Ooh. Oh, and it's hit Soyuncu, I think, and gone out for a corner. Oh, no, it's not. It's hit his own man. And it's gone out for a goal kick. Real good opportunity. Probably one of the best chances of this first half, and certainly Watford's. And it's hit Troy Deeney. Will Hughes will be absolutely devastated. I think that was going in. Hit his own man.
Hit his own man. It was a lovely build-up from Watford, patient build-up as well. Back to the game at St Mary's. And Norwich have got to do what they've not managed to do recently, and that is defend another set play, Cammy.
Well, they can't defend properly because they're all zonal lines. So there's So there's 2 on the post either side. Then the zonal line is along the 6-yard line, and then there's 2 of the zonal players level with the penalty spot. So they don't pick anybody up. So every time they have a set play or a corner, they look like they're going to score. Højbjerg with a magnificent shot as they cleared that corner. Well done. It went out as far as 22 yards, and Højbjerg just steadied himself and then hit it, an absolute screamer. Tim Krul had to be at his best to keep it out.
One-way traffic at Pittodrie, and it's all in the direction of the Aberdeen goal, and Rangers have helped themselves to a second, Alan McInally.
Well, that would be good, Jeff, but you came at me at the wrong time because I'm now watching Liverpool against Everton and I didn't get to see the goal.
Oh, well, let me tell you.
You took the picture off my...
Ryan Jack has scored... And
Ryan Jack scored from 35 yards. It was a great goal.
You did see it?
I did. He never really, did he?
No, I've got no idea.
The Rangers were giving Aberdeen a bit of a doing. Genuinely not surprised they've got a second.
Ryan Jack played 250 games for Aberdeen. Now he's scored against him. It may have been a 35-yard screamer, or it may have been a 5-inch tap-in. Who knows? But it's 2 up for Rangers to Aberdeen. You can see St Mirren are behind against Motherwell. Just can't manage to score goals at home. Well, they'll have to this evening if they're going to get anything out of this one. Davy Donaldson.
They will indeed, because it's Motherwell who have gone in front of this game. It was James Scott down the right-hand side. Good run by him. He cut inside his left foot and drilled it just inside the far post. St Mirren 0, Motherwell 1.
1-0 the away side there. Motherwell having a decent season. They sit 4th in the table. They have lost the last 3 away games. He couldn't tell us what was happening between Aberdeen and Rangers. Can he tell us what's happening between Liverpool and Everton? Alan McInally.
What a ball from the back, right all the way to Robertson on the left-hand side. Gets the ball in, and he does it. I think it's Manny that gets his head on it. It is Manny, gets in, and he's a little unlucky. Puts it over the crossbar, but brilliant overlapping from Robertson. We know how he likes to get bombing down the left-hand side, and he just took one touch and whipped it straight in. Manny a little unlucky. First chance for Liverpool.
Tahith Chong has got his second goal, and Manchester United under-21s are now in front at Prenton Park. Against Tranmere Rovers, they lead by 2-1. Back to the game between Manchester United and Spurs. This could be a real setback as far as Manchester United are concerned. They need to be mentally strong now, Merson, because having dominated, they may go at half-time level.
Well, yeah, they should have been well in front, Jeff, to be fair. But a ball went over the top to Rashford, but Gazaniga come out, he read the situation well. Rashford got a bit winded, but he's all right now. But yeah, they got back into the game now, Tottenham, with a great goal, and they look more comfortable on the ball, and they look the better team again now, Jeff. So it's 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 the scoreline there, and, well, it's a lifeline, isn't it, from Dele Alli. They have, remember, conceded 2 in all of their 3 games under Jose Mourinho. It's half-time as well in the game at the King Power Stadium, and that is goalless. Just underway in the game between Liverpool and Everton. Manchester United 1, Spurs 1 is the only of the 7:30s that's still going on at the moment. Southampton 2, Norwich City 0. That's a half-time score as well, and Ralph Hasenhüttl will be very pleased with that. Meanwhile, danger for Tottenham just before half-time at Old Trafford, Merson.
Yeah, corner on the left-hand side. Fred's going to take an outswinger, Jeff, with his left foot. Whips it out, and it's a good header by Sanchez, and they get it cleared.
They do indeed. They're still playing in that first half. Of course, there was a long delay over the VAR decision for that Dele Alli goal, which was eventually and probably correctly allowed to stand 1 apiece as the scoreline there. Look, Rangers are 2-2 in the Scottish Premiership. What about Celtic? They lead Hamilton by a 1-0. Any sign of a second goal for the home side? Mark Benstead.
No, as it stands, Jeff, they are still a goal up, but in the last few minutes it's actually been Hamilton who've had a little bit more of the game. They've had 2 or 3 forays forward, and they've actually tested Fraser Forster in that Celtic goal as well. Good build-up play initially, the ball out left, Scott McMahon up from full-back, got a shot come cross away, and Forster had to shift his feet quickly to clear the danger. The ball came back out to Michael Miller, he got a shot away, but that effort was off target. Celtic still with the majority of the ball, the better of the play, but 1 or 2 signs from the visitors they may threaten tonight. 1-0 to Celtic though as it stands.
Yeah, 1-0 Celtic at the moment. Still that Ryan Christie goal is separating the 2 sides. It's the 28th goal they've scored in just 7.5 home games so far. Let's go and see how Hearts are faring, shall we, against another out-of-form side, Livingston. Of course, Hearts are still managerless at the moment. They're really taking their time over appointing somebody new. How have Hearts performed this evening? Let's find out. Stuart Lovell.
Well, great timing, Jeff, because Livingston, the visitors, have just gone a goal up with a volley on the turn from Marvin Bartley, and I have to say it's massively against the run of play. Hearts have been well on top from the outset. Stephen Naismith and Jamie Walker combining really well. Hearts had an absolute sitter on 11 minutes. Craig Halkett from a corner, 6 yards out, free header, missed the target completely. Absolutely staggering miss. They had another good opportunity from Sean Clare on 17 minutes. Livingston, I mean, really, this is their first effort on goal. Long throw, ball popped out to Bartley. Lovely technique on the turn. And this is, as I say, a bit of a surprise, but it's Livingston who lead 1-0.
Won in the last 7 games, but they do lead now. Ross County 0. Hibs 1. Christian Doidge, who's loving life under the new manager, Ross County. It's Ross against Ross there, if you see what I mean. Ross County against Hibs, managed by Jack Ross. Ross County have also got 3 Rosses on their book. However, it's not one of them. Christian Doidge is the man who's got the goal, and he's got 7 in his last 5 now for Hibs. There's confirmation of Marvin Bartley's goal. You can see Motherwell doubled their lead against St Mirren. Let's hear about it. Davy Donaldson.
Yeah, it's James Scott again. He just can't stop scoring in this game. The ball came to him. He took his time and just chipped the ball over the goalkeeper and into the back of the net to double Motherwell's lead. They lead by 2-0.
Let's go to hear about Christian Doidge's latest goal, shall we, for Hibs, putting them in front against Ross County side have been woefully out of form recently. Frank Gilfeather.
Yes, Jeff, that goal coming in 34 minutes. A long free kick by Scott Allen into the Ross County area. There was a whole ruck of players in that 6 yards box, but it was Christian Doidge who got the goal, stabbing it over the line and putting Hibs deservedly, I think, in front by 1-0.
In front by 1-0. Only one side has scored in every Premier League game this season. That side is Liverpool, and that run continues. Alan McInally.
Yeah, does it ever. And they made 5 changes from the team that beat Brighton, but they brought in Divock Origi and he scored. What a ball from Adam Lallana here. Little ball from Mane inside. Oh, it's a beauty. Mane's the ball from out to in. And he gets in front of Keane. Keane's dreaming here because he needs to realise there's not really anywhere else that Mane can go. And he gets in between. Goalkeeper commits himself, goes round him and plays it coolly into the back of the net. Pickford absolutely no chance, and Divock Origi has scored from big goals. And remember, did he not get the single goal
the
last time in the 90-something minute?
It's about the 96th minute.
He's got one after 10.
Yeah. Well, earlier, he's got one after 6, so 90 minutes earlier than he scored last time. And it's his first Premier League goal since the opening day of the season. And Liverpool lead Everton by a goal. So, of course, 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League table and looking to stretch that once again to 11 tonight. Let's just check on some half-time scores, shall we, in the Premier League. And, of course, one later score. They've only got underway a few minutes ago in the game at Anfield. Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 1. Well, it all started so promisingly for Chelsea. Tammy Abraham putting them in front. His 12th goal of the season, of course, it came against his former club. 26 goals for Villa last season, but tonight he was the villain as far as the travelling fans were concerned. But Chelsea couldn't take advantage of their superiority in the early stages. You know, they've not scored 3 home Premier League goals in any game this season. And Villa equalised through Trezeguet with his 3rd goal in 4 games, 4 minutes before half-time, and that is the way it is at the interval. Leicester City 0, Watford 0. Big controversy here. Jamie Vardy thought he should have had a penalty, went to the referee's notebook for diving. Instead, VAR took a look at the incident and decided it was no penalty, much to the consternation of Vardy and his manager, Brendan Rodgers. Consequently, it is goalless at the moment. A Watford side have won once in 18 Premier League games. Much changed Liverpool's side, lead by a goal to 0. Remember the story there. There's no Roberto Firmino in the starting lineup for Liverpool this evening, and no Salah either in that team. No Jordan Henderson, no Oxlade-Chamberlain, but no problem either at present. Divock Origi with the goal that's put Liverpool in front. And you know the statistic, you'll have heard it so many times. Everton have not won in the Premier League under Marco Silva after they have fallen behind. Well, they have fallen behind. Manchester United 1, Spurs 1. Marcus Rashford scoring for Manchester United. Totally dominant in the early stages. It's his 11th goal of the season, but Dele Alli equalised with his 4th goal in 3 games. It was an absolutely cracking goal as well, but very much against the run of play. 1 apiece was the scoreline there. Southampton 2, Norwich 0. Danny Ings can't stop scoring, really, can he, at the moment? He's got 9 in his last 10. And then Ryan Bertrand, who hadn't scored for 16 months, became the first Southampton player other than Ings or Ward-Prowse to score a goal since September the 14th. And Norwich are bang up against it, 2-0 down. They've only scored 3 away goals, this season. They need 3 in the second half of this game if they're going to win it. Wolves lead by a goal to nil. Dendoncker, the goal scorer against West Ham. West Ham 1 win in 9 games in all competitions. That was against Chelsea at the weekend, of course, but they are behind at the moment. In Scotland, Aberdeen 1, Rangers 2, so glimmer of hope for Aberdeen. And John Gallagher is the man who has got a goal back there. It is his first Aberdeen goal. Now, will it be worthwhile in the end for Gallagher? We shall see. They still trail by 2 goals to 1. Arfield and Jack were the goal scorers. They will bring you up to date with what else is happening in Scotland and keep you bang in touch, of course, with what is happening at Anfield, where Liverpool lead by a goal to 0. When we come back very shortly. In the AFL Trophy, Tranmere Rovers have equalised against Manchester United's kids. Connor Jennings has got their second goal. 2 goals from Chong for Manchester United's under-21s. Of course, these are the very early stages of the game at Anfield. It's been a dream start as far as Liverpool are concerned. Jurgen Klopp, by the way, looking for his 100th Premier League win in what is his 159th game. That's quite a record. Divock Origi putting them in front after 6 minutes. But Everton have responded quite positively, Alan McInally.
Yeah, they have, Jeff. There's a couple of little half-chance there for Calvert-Lewin, who went to have a strike. He said it goes down as if he was kicked, but in actual fact he kicked the ball wide, and I think he was looking for some sympathy. There may have been a little contact, but Mike Dean, who incidentally, Mike Dean, we all know him, this is his first Merseyside derby, he said no contact. Liverpool are using that long ball from either Van Dijk or from Lovren in behind, and they're catching Everton out. There was another half chance for Sadio Mane, but to be fair to Mason Holgate, he did really well to get a touch on it and get the ball away from danger. Here's maybe a half chance. Lallana! Make that 1-0. Sorry, Tom, I got you excited there.
And you should apologise again. Are you calling Liverpool a long ball team?
No, tonight they are. Absolutely, tonight they played that long ball in behind to catch Everton. As Everton try and push out, in behind, and incidentally, Phil, it's working fantastically well.
Would you like to have a word with him about that? Later.
Anyway, it's all right. You two can apologise to me later. 1-0.
It's working. They lead by a goal to nil. That's the only thing that matters. And, of course, Marco Silva, the Storm clouds just grow darker and darker over his head at the moment. Let's just reflect a little on what's been happening at Old Trafford in the first half. Manchester United and Tottenham have gone in level at 1 apiece. Will Jose Mourinho must feel he's had a right result to go in half-time all square?
Yeah, very much so, Jeff. I don't think they could have played any worse, but it was just a great goal, a real great goal that's got them back in this game. Otherwise, Man United could be out of sight. I mean, Solskjaer's going to have to push these lads back out. They're probably the best Man United have played for a long time, in my opinion. And now they've gone in at half-time 1-1. So, young team, got to get them back out because they'll be very distraught in there at the moment.
I mean, you look at Dele Alli. He hasn't had many kicks tonight, has he? But he scored an absolutely fantastic goal. In your heart, did you think there was a chance that we wouldn't see this Dele Alli again? It had been a long time, hadn't it?
He had, but I just think he needed to get someone in there to go and tell him what he used to do. Dele Alli's game's about getting in the box, scoring goals. Exactly what happened on Saturday. You know, perfect goal, the second one, makes a run, chests it, great finish. That's Dele Alli. That's what got him in the England team. That's what got him his move to from MK Dons. And that's what made him a big star that everybody was after. Then he started coming back, flicking balls here, flicking balls there. He's just got back to doing what he's very good at.
I think in these games he's been like more aggressive. In all the games that I've seen him, he seems as though he wants to play again. Now, I don't know why under such a good manager, Pochettino, but all of a sudden he looks as though he wants to play, as though he wants to entertain, wants to do what we all knew he could do, is make those runs into the box.
Yeah, I think before he tried to entertain by playing flicky football. I think this time, I think he's looked at it, he's thought, wait a minute, I'm out the England squad here, I need to score goals to get back in the England squad. And I think that's what he's gone and done. I think he's gone, right, I'm going to get in the box now. Like Charlie says, keep on getting in the box, keep on getting in the box. And he is a very good finisher. And when you see this guy, it's a special goal, special goal.
Yeah, it came 6 minutes before half-time, with Manchester United leading by a goal to nil. Remember that Manchester United have not lost at home in the league when they've been in front at half-time since 1984. And we wondered if that run was going to continue, but they're not in front at half-time. I mean, well, just getting a little bit feisty in the game at Anfield. What happened, Alan McInally?
Well, there was a challenge. I mean, it's a clumsy challenge initially by Andy Robertson on Tom Davies, and he goes in behind him and pushes him down. It's a foul. It's not a problem. But Andy goes in a little bit harder than he needs to. Hang on, Manny comes in. What a chance. Goal! Goal. Shaqiri gets it. Another newbie. Well, maybe not a guaranteed starter. No Firmino. Obviously, no Salah. We've got Divock Origi. He gets it first. And Shaqiri gets the second. I was going to say that Andy Robertson went down with his elbow on Davis. Little fracas, nothing in it. And then Liverpool go ahead, get a little lovely pass. The ball in, and Shaqiri comes to the right-hand side all the way across and stays onside. And with his left foot, tucks it beyond Jordan Pickford. 2-0 Liverpool. Wow.
His first goal since Boxing Day of last year in Liverpool, he by 2-0. And Marco Silva has the look of a worried man. I just want to pause the football for a moment or two, because I've no doubt you'll have seen the news today, different sport, but a colleague of ours, Bob Willis, has passed away today at the age of 70. And we all remember Bob from his part in the 1981 Headingley Test, where he and Ian Botham conjured up a victory literally out of the jaws of defeat from an impossible position. Well, what you don't know, in the office, he's a big fella. He had time for absolutely everyone. He was fantastic company as well. Just an all-round wonderful man, and he will be missed more than I can tell you. Bob had been suffering from prostate cancer for 3 years. That's why we wear the badges, so that people like Bob Willis have a better chance of survival. And our sympathies go to his wife and kids, of course.
No one, Jeff.
OK, let's go back to some football, shall we? We'll give you the Scottish half-times in a minute or two, but Liverpool leading by 2-0 with that Shaqiri goal. Chelsea, well, they looked to be in control early on, didn't they, against Aston Villa, but they're not in control at the interval. 1 apiece was the scoreline. There are plenty of options on the bench as far as Frank Lampard is concerned. You think he's tempted to make a change, Charlie?
Well, I think he will be, yes, because they've not played well. Even when they went 1 up, and they looked as if maybe... And I think, well, probably about 5 minutes after that, you actually said to me, second goal, give them the cushion, and then it can maybe just be a bit more free. But it's not worked out that way. To be fair to Villa, they've started to get a little bit more on the ball. Trezeguet's got involved. I'm still not really seeing anything from Wesley up front. If he was to put himself about a little bit more, then all of a sudden it's Villa who would be the team who have been more positive. But Villa manager and staff, John Terry included, they must be very pleased that it's 1-1.
Leicester left it very late against Everton, of course. Didn't manage to score in the first half against Watford. They've had an early chance in the second half, Tess.
Yeah, they have indeed, Jeff. Free kick into the box from Maddison. Cathcart gets up and just nods it down into a dangerous area, and Soyuncu comes in, hits it right-footed, but he can't keep it underneath the crossbar. It's gone just over. Still 0-0.
A chance and a goal in the game at Stamford Bridge. We asked the question, Jack Grealish or Mason Mount? Who would you have? Who scored, Charlie?
It's Mason Mount, and that's the reason why I say Grealish has got more all-round ability. But this little fella has come in, he works under a manager, and with his new teammate, Abrahams, it's Willian again, who's been probably the best player again this evening for Chelsea. Not really going anywhere, but he picks out a quick cross. It's into the chest of Abrahams. Really good awareness, controls it back, simple volley, you think, but he puts it right in the roof of the net. It's a lovely finish. 2-1 Chelsea.
Might have been a simple volley to you. I thought it was a fantastic strike. But there we go. Mason Mount with his first goal at Stamford Bridge since August and his 5th goal of the season. So Wolves leading West Ham 1-0 at half-time. Before we go there, let's go off to the game at Anfield, where suddenly... Well, he doesn't look very happy, boy, but suddenly Marco Silva has got something to celebrate. Alan McInally.
Yeah, Everton have got one back and Michael Keane's got it. He's not happy because he's disappointed they've conceded 2 goals, obviously. It's just good play by Everton because they almost lose it, but they keep it alive. Iwobi with the ball in, and he gets a little bit lucky because as the ball goes in, I think it might be Lovren. He doesn't know where the ball is, but it sprinkles clear for Michael Keane. He gets in front of Adrian and just lifts it over him into the net. Good for Everton, but still 2-1 down.
First goal in 16 months. In the meantime, VAR is taking a close look to what is a huge penalty appeal. The penalty has been given at Old Trafford. What's your view on this one, Merce?
Oh, I ain't sure, Jeff. I'm not sure. It's a great bit of play by Rashford. First of all, he nutmegs Aurier about just past the half in his own half. And he runs at Sissoko. He goes round the Henry sort of run around Sissoko with pace, and he gets caught. The referee's having a look here. I ain't sure he's on. It's the slightest of touches. I don't know if it's because he's running 100 mile an hour and he just gets caught and he goes flying. But the ref's just waiting now.
They always stick with the refs on these, don't they? They always stick with the refs, but there was
has happened very quickly, Jeff. You know what I mean? He's running at pace. I don't know. I don't even think they're even waiting, are they?
No, Michael Oliver is the VAR. The ball is on the spot.
Yeah, the ball's on the spot. I mean, it's going to take some now, isn't it? It's going to take some now. Rashford's going to take it. Great bit of play by Rashford, don't get me wrong. Left Aurier. I think they're looking for Aurier still now. Aurier.
He's missed twice from the spot so far this season, has Marcus Rashford.
Oh, they've given the penalty, yeah. Definitely give the penalty, Jeff. So he's just waiting now. Everybody's outside the box. I don't know why people run into the box anymore. There's no point. You might as well just stay. So Rashford's waiting to go up. It's a big opportunity, Jeff. If they can get back in front here. They looked a little bit down when they went in at the end of the first half because they dominated the first half. Look, he's just telling everybody to get out still.
And it must be playing on Rashford's nerves. He knows he's not got an unblemished record from the penalty spot. We've seen him keep his cool in the past, of course. Will he keep his cool tonight? He's still waiting.
It's taken a long time, Jeff. A long time. The ref's still telling everybody like they're all under 9s. And hey, look, he's telling them again, just leave them. If they run in, make him take it again. Rashford steps up, he comes in. Oh, good finish. He could have dribbled it to the goal and scored because the ref was looking at everybody on the edge of the box. Great finish by Rashford, Jeff. 2-1. Thoroughly deserved this, Man United.
Yeah, absolutely, even though it was a controversial penalty, you'd have to say. But Marcus Rashford scored both of the Manchester United goals. He's got a dozen for the season. And Spurs have done what they have done in every game under Jose Mourinho so far, conceded 2 goals. They've won the other 3. Will they come back to win this one? Doesn't look very likely at the moment because Manchester United have been much the better side. Wolves leading West Ham by a goal to 0. Then that Dendoncker goal in the first half separating the sides. West Ham have been accused a few times this season, Tomo, of not showing enough passion and being off the pace. Is that the case tonight?
Yeah, Traore here. He's just trying to break into the box, Jeff Traore. Trying to go past now to the byline again. Nothing. The ball's going to be cleared. But this West Ham, you can see against Chelsea, they were aggressive. I don't just mean in tackling and getting stuck into people, but in the passing, in the closing down. And this is so passive again today. There's not enough coming from them. They're only 1 goal down, but you think are you showing enough? Do you really want it enough? There's a great following by the West Ham fans here. And you just think away from home against so-called Leicester teams as though they just don't want to get out the right side of bed.
Yeah, although they've only lost twice away from home this season, but they need find a bit of spark in the game at Molineux. That is for sure. It's a Wolves side, actually, who usually come on strong in the second half rather than the first half. Meanwhile, let's go back to the King Power Stadium where Leicester are getting closer and closer and closer, Tiss.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes should have put Leicester 1-0 up, Jeff. Lovely bit of play on the right-hand side. The ball gets switched to Barnes and he attacks the defender. He goes past him and he's left with just Foster to beat. He's only about 4 or 5 yards out. He's on a bit of an angle, but he's got a lot of the goal to aim at and he hits it straight at Ben Foster. Should have been Leicester 1-0 up. It isn't. They've now got a corner.
18 of the 23 Premier League goals that Aston Villa have conceded have come in the second half. One was conceded again a moment ago, Charlie.
Yeah, again, and Willian's involved. It doesn't knock it even a yard. It's even less than that. It's so tight to his boot. He just does a little quick step over and he gets it in so early the defender can't set his feet, but it does take a deflection off target, and as it does, it spins to the back post. Abraham looks as if he's coming in. To be fair, El Mohammadi's done really well. Not the best defender normally, but he's managed to keep it out. Corner came to nothing, but Mason Mount's in the box, lays it back again. Williams involved, still the best player so far. Tricky Pete, and it's still 2-1 Chelsea.
Now then, a penalty has been awarded this time in the game at the King Power Stadium. Remember, Leicester thought they had one in the first half, but Jamie Vardy was booked for diving. This time, the referee has come down on their side, Tiss.
Yeah, he has indeed. Maddison with the cross to the back post, and it's just an arm in the face of Johnny Evans. Messina it was that's adjudged to have fouled him. He's just put his hand...
Really?
Wow. Oh.
Is that a penalty?
Wow. So he's just holding off Evans.
Son.
And Evans has gone down.
Oh, what a block!
Evans has gone down holding his face, and the referee's given a penalty. I think this might be overturned.
Yeah. You think it might be okay? In the meantime, we heard Merson shouting, "Son, Son, Son." What happened to Son?
Oh, he gets the ball on the left-hand side, Jeff. You know when he comes inside, he goes to shoot, and he dummies about 4 people. But they didn't fall for it, Man United, and they blocked it. It was a good block in the end. Great defending by United, but they showed their hand again there, Tottenham. They're definitely not out this game. 2-1.
Craig Pawson still waits to see if he has the backing of the VAR. Peter Banks, Gerard Delafeu is pleading with him at the moment. That won't do any good because Craig Pawson's made his decision. Nothing he's going to be able to do about it now. It's just down to the VAR, and the discussion is taking a long time.
It is indeed, Jeff. I have to say, if this is given a penalty, there should be 100 penalties a game. I mean, I don't think there's any offside in the build-up. Just showing the build-up again. I mean, blimey, it's soft. It's soft. He's just trying to hold him off. He's put his arm up, and his arm's gone into the face. Evans has gone down. And the decision is they're sticking with the penalty. Wow.
The only thing you would say, Tiss, was that he wasn't looking at the ball. He put his arm up and he put it straight in the face of Johnny Evans.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I appreciate that. He has put his arm in the face. But, I mean,
Anyway, Jamie Vardy, chance to score in for his 7th successive game. Of course, we saw him having to take a penalty twice a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Ben Foster just waiting now. Vardy very, very focused, waiting for Craig Pawson to blow the whistle, making sure everybody on the edge of the box does.
This has taken an eternity, by the way.
Referee's
since
blown the whistle. No, has he blown the whistle? Yeah, Vardy steps up, right-footed, smashes it into the corner. Ben Foster stands because he thinks he's going straight down the middle, and Vardy puts it in the corner, 1-0 Leicester.
And the Premier League's top goal scorer adds another goal to his tally. He has got 14. He scored in 7 successive games, chasing that record of 11 consecutive Premier League goals that he achieved back in 2015. And Leicester in 3rd place in the table, the chance to go back above Manchester City. Liverpool lead as well at the moment, though, by 2 goals to 1. But that goal back seems to have breathed a little lease of life into Everton, Alan McInally.
I'm just having a look. Mane's gone down, but Mike Dean's not having any of it. I'll tell you about a half chance for Calvert-Lewin, and he's bundled into by Van Dijk. They were thinking about VAR, maybe wanting a penalty, but nothing came of it, and he kicked the ball wide anyway. Alexander Arnold's been booked, and he's lucky boy. The first one was on Richarlison, who unlucky with a header, incidentally, and then he just stood right on Lucas Digne, and Mike Dean properly. Oh, he's managed through, and it's not, goes through to Pickford. So he picked up a booking. He had to be very careful, Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he's had a couple of cheeky ones, Jeff. but he didn't get away with the second one as he did the first. So it's still 2-1 Liverpool.
Still 2-1 to Liverpool. Everton have had more attempts on goal at the moment than Liverpool have, but of course Liverpool have made theirs count more than Everton had. I saw Moussa Ginepro go down in the box a moment or two ago at St Mary's. Did Southampton think they had a case for a penalty, Cammy?
Yeah, they thought they did. There was a little shove in the back, Jeff, so it was a little appeal for it. But it would have been a soft one, but we've seen them given before. The person I feel sorry for in the whole of that Norwich team is Teemu Pukki, because he's having to come deep and try and get involved in the game. He's had nothing in the way of chances whatsoever. And they just don't play to his strengths. Early in the season, when they were playing their lovely football and enjoying their time in the Premier League, at least they were getting opportunities. Shane Long just had a half chance there, but he's another one who seems to live off scraps or get scraps himself. And he's just created that chance virtually out of nothing. But Pukki, give him a chance, he will score. But if you don't give him a chance, well, it's pointless him being out there.
Yeah, it's a far cry from the Norwich performance at Goodison Park. We saw them win their first away game of the season. They won by 2-0. They're on the wrong end of that scoreline this time around. Southampton 2-0 up. So Chelsea lead Villa by 2-1. Leicester leading Watford by 1-0. Liverpool 2-1 up against Everton. Manchester United 2-1 up against Spurs. Southampton 2-0 up against Norwich. And Wolves 1-0 up against West Ham. It is a clean sweep for the home sides at the moment. We'll be back in just 40 seconds. You can count them.
Two goals for him, 3 for Liverpool, it's 3-1.
Oh, what a touch and finish from Divock Origi. You didn't necessarily think he had that in his locker, but he's just shown that he has it. It's his first Premier League double since April 2016. Look, chances here, there and everywhere. A glorious chance at the K-Com Stadium. Matt Tissier.
Yeah, Maddison, right-footed corner, whips it in, and Soyuncu just headed it over the bar. But the reason it was a corner is Dennis Pratt has missed an absolute sitter, really, Jeff. It was Harvey Barnes who did really well down the left-hand side. Ball ricocheted to Pratt, who was up in support in the box. I thought he was just going to come onto it with his right foot. He's about 12 yards out. He's got a lot of the goal to aim at. Strikes it goalwards, but Messina just gets a little block on it. And Leicester in again here. It's 3 against 2. Vardy must score. Is he going to score? He does. Oh, no! What a brilliant bit of defending by Messina. Vardy has just chipped it over Foster, but Messina has got back and cleared it over the crossbar, just as Barnes, I think, was just going to try and knock it in. Brilliant bit of defending by Messina. The lad who gave the penalty away. No, it's a great bit of defending Messina. It's a corner for Leicester.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It's as valuable as scoring a goal, to be honest. It is a sensational clearance when it looked like Harvey Barnes was just going to tap it in if it didn't go in on its own. Aberdeen have equalised, would you believe, against Rangers. 2 apiece. Andrew Constantine is the man who's got the equalising goal. That could be a real blow for Rangers. Celtic leading Hamilton, of course, by a 0-0. Let's go and find out what's happening at Stamford Bridge, where you get the feeling Aston Villa are rather just clinging on at the moment, Charlie.
That's exactly the case. Chelsea really in the mood now since Mount scored that sweet volley. But Willian again is a player of influence. Lovely feet, takes on 3 players, skips by them, and it just gets a little deflection off the hip of Target. But Heaton was equal to it. Good smart save. And then Reece James got in, tried to square it across for Mount, who was waiting to tap it in. Good block from Mings, but Villa hanging on.
Villa hanging on, Wolves leading West Ham by a goal. A lot of talk, by the way, about Manuel Pellegrini, but, you know, 16 points West Ham have got at the moment. That's their best tally at this stage of the season for the last 4 years, so maybe he's not doing such a bad job. Is there any sign of them getting level, Tomo?
They should have levelled. What a chance for Snodgrass. From this left-hand side, Fornals picks him out, Snodgrass, on the right-hand side. He's clear, he's free. He's got to have a good touch, by the way, and it's not a good touch. It just gets a little bit heavy inside right, in the box, clear. And Rui Patricio, he sees the danger, comes out and makes that tackle. Fantastic tackle, but he should have scored it. Lo and behold, got an injury in that. He's now off, and Yarmolenko's on.
And it remains 1-0. It remains Manchester United 2, the Spurs 1. Do you think Jose Mourinho is getting to the stage where he might be thinking about changing things around, Merson?
He will have to change it, but you probably have to bring someone on to double up against Rashford, because he is absolutely on fire at the moment. Again, he runs at the defenders, great bit of skill, and it's just a last-ditch interception. Otherwise, he's away. But he's been outstanding, Rashford. But they will have to change it. Tottenham, by far the better team, Man United.
And they still lead by 2-1. You know, despite all their problems, Manchester United have only lost once at home this season and beaten in 8 home games in all competitions. Chelsea leading Villa by 2 goals. We mentioned that Villa were rather just clinging on, but the one thing about Villa is they do have goals in them, Charlie.
Yeah, and they do like to attack, don't they? They'll take a risk at the back because you have to now. But again, it's a good build-up play in midfield. Chelsea kind of got Kante in particular, trying to go and swat down the ball, and it ends up falling into him again, plays it into El Mohammadi. Cross is a good one, but it comes really long. But arriving on the left side again is Grealish. Reece James has went too deep inside, and the volley was on, but he was not equal to the volley that we've seen from Mount. He didn't get it right.
Wolves a goal to the good. And by virtue of the thickness of Phil Thompson's wallet, well, they're not 2 up, but they could be, Tomo.
I'm glad you said me wallet and not something else. Here's Jimenez away, inside left position, goes forward, gets his shot away, but drags it. Bonner does really well. Jeff stays with him, forces him, but it's a poor effort which goes wide. But Wolves have been by far the better team. This is an absolute brilliant chance. But just before that, Saiss, from a corner kick, got flicked on, and he's just right in the centre of the goal, gets his header, and it went inches wide at the far post. But West Ham, only a goal down, are still in this.
Marco Silva has seen enough of the 11 that started the game at Anfield. Alan McInally.
Yeah, he's trying to make sure they don't lose any more goals. Basically, he's taken off Sidibe, who was obviously playing in that right full-back, trying to get forward way, and all he'll do, he'll go 4-3-3 now. He's brought on Bernard to play up top with Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. Holgate will go to right back, and they'll try and get as much ball to the front three as they possibly can, and obviously with the pressure on Bernard to try and have something else in the locker, get Richarlison in a place where he can do a bit of damage. But certainly wasn't happy with what he saw so far, and he's already made a change. And what we at? 36 minutes. So a minute and a half ago, he decided, I'm not watching this anymore. 3-1.
He is a man under significant pressure, of course. Everton not won at Anfield since 1999 when Kevin Campbell scored the winning goal. It looks like that run is going to go on, though. It's very early doors as yet. Southampton leading by 2-0 against Norwich City. And you have to say, Chris Kamara, Danny Ings is in the form of his life.
Oh, he's absolutely on fire. Everything he touches is nearly turned into goal. And once again, Nathan Redmond passed him the ball about 22 yards from goal. He chested it and hit a volley with his left foot and then just agonisingly watched it. And it just trickled past the post. At the other side, it would have been in because Tim Krul was beaten. All ends up, it's Timo Pukki with a chance. Oh, of course, his first chance of the game. Absolutely. Give this fella a chance and he will score.
What a finish it was, Cammy. What a finish it was. Left foot rifled into the top corner of the net, and Norwich, who've not been in it at all at St Mary's, have suddenly got a goal back. Southampton showing why they've now conceded 33 Premier League goals this season. Pukki with his 10th of the season. Game on down at St Mary's, that is for sure. Leicester leading Watford by a goal on that Jamie Vardy penalty. How would you describe Watford's performance, Tiss?
Defensively, fairly solid, but attacking, they are pretty clueless when it comes to balls in the final third. They've actually got themselves into 2 or 3 decent positions, but their final ball has been atrocious at times, and I don't remember Kasper Schmeichel having to make a save in the 60-odd minutes that we've had so far.
No, they haven't had a shot on target during the course of that game. Watford. Just a reminder, by the way, briefly, what's happening in Scotland in the Scottish Premiership. It's a big night there. Aberdeen 2, Rangers 2. Rangers were 2 goals up in that game. Celtic still lead Hamilton by a goal to nil. Livingston lead at Hearts by a goal to nil. Kilmarnock and St Johnstone is goalless. Hibs lead at Ross County thanks to Christian Doidge's 9th goal of the season, 7 in his last 5. And Motherwell are 2 goals up. James Scott has got them both at St Mirren. Back to the game between Chelsea and Aston Villa. I see Jack Grealish standing over the ball. They need a bit of Grealish magic, Charlie.
Yeah, he's come a bit more inside from the left-hand side, but here Ardon, target way across. Defender, nearly fell for Luiz, who's come on for Hourihane. And he kind of struggled to kind of, if you like, dovetail McGinn and Grealish because Grealish was staying on the left-hand side. But threats now down the right and the left from Aston Villa. They're going to take the gamble. McGinn again coming forward. Here's El Mohammadi. Trezeguet's in the box. He's just going to set McGinn up. He'll pitch it and... Oh, it's a lovely cross. Oh, it was begging for someone to attack it. And they all were on their heels, Villa.
It was, I'm not sure there's a crossroads shot, but all it needed was a touch at the far post. It would have been an equaliser for Aston Villa, but they still wait that equalising goal. Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 1. Back up to Scotland, Celtic with that 100% home record. They won the last 10 games in all competitions. They lead Hamilton, but only narrowly. Are Hamilton making a real fist of this, Mark Benstead?
Well, they are now, Jeff. We've just had a huge moment in this game, potentially a huge moment in the title race. A fantastic save by Fraser Forster, keeping Celtic in the lead here at Celtic Park. Hamilton got a free kick on the far side. Michael Miller took it. He bent it in. I think it was Sam Stubbs, the son of the former Celtic defender Alan Stubbs, who got his head to it. It was heading in. I think Fraser Forster didn't expect him to get contact on it, and he just at the last minute realised, threw himself to his left, got a big hand to it and pushed it away. It was a superb stop, and Celtic needed it because Hamilton have come more into the game. A big drama here, but Celtic do still lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, it's a narrow advantage, and so is Manchester United's advantage against Spurs. It's 2-1, despite the fact they've had much the better of the game so far. Is there any sign of a Spurs equaliser, Merce?
Not really. Eriksen's just come on for Mora to change it up, but Winks has just gone down, challenged with Fred, and it looks like he's turned his ankle, so it's been a stoppage in the game. He's got back up, but Eriksen's on for Mora.
Mings against Mount, mismatch. Charlie?
Yeah, he actually went in for a 50-50 on Mount just over the halfway line, and he completely gets it wrong as it does Mings. And Mount goes by him, so he gets beyond him, but the big fella's got pace to get back. But as he gets back, he absolutely just batters him out the road, and the referee says, dive, he fell over. It was a stone wall free kick, and he's got away with it.
It was like being hit by a tank and being expected to stand up to it. It was a clear foul, but not in the eyes of Mr. Kavanagh, who is the referee today. Let's go back to the game between Wolves and West Ham. It's a narrow margin that Wolves lead by at the moment, so still hope for the Hammers, Tomo.
Yeah, there is still hope, and although they've not played brilliantly, Jota just putting the ball in the box there, Jeff. They've not played brilliantly, West Ham, but at 1-0, there's always a chance, a set piece or something like that, so they've got to have hope. I think they should be playing far better, well, because Wolves are, by far in this game, they are dominating it, and they're noble on the ball now, coming across the halfway line.
Yes, indeed. Let's go back to the game between Liverpool and Everton. You heard Everton had made a change to try and stem the tide, if you like. Do you think it's working, Alan McInally?
Yeah, I do. Certainly Bernard's been on the ball quite a lot, Jeff, down that left-hand side, and he's always keen to get on the ball, which is what they need, don't they? They need someone to get on the ball. Here he is again. Digne, give it to Bernard. Here's Bernard down the left-hand side. Little ball, and Alexander-Arnold does really well. So we're almost on half-time. We're almost on 43 minutes. There may be one added on from Mike Dean, but certainly it's been a good half for Liverpool. Obviously, he won't be happy, Klopp, with the goal that they conceded, but nevertheless, on the bench, I'm just having a look at Salah, Firmino, Henderson. They've got a few.
Got an option or two. Yeah,
they've got a couple, haven't they? Anyway, it's been a good half, but to be fair to Everton, certainly since they've made a change, they've just stemmed the tide a little bit. And this, to be honest with you, most of the ball has actually been in the final third toward Liverpool's goal. Here's maybe a half chance. Iwobi trying to get it on his right peg. Richarlison! Oh, it's a touch by Lovren, or it's a tap in at the back post. Brilliant by Everton, a little unlucky 3-1.
It was a brilliant piece of defending by Tayshan Lovren. Tranmere lead Manchester United's kids by 3 goals to 2. Corey Blackett-Taylor is the man who got that goal. Meanwhile, the senior side, they just probably need another goal to settle their fans' nerves, Paul Merson.
Yeah, they do, and Tottenham just counter-attacks. James does a game for a challenge on the edge of the box there, and they got a corner now, Tottenham. But they break 4v3. It's Sissoko with a terrible ball straight into De Gea's hands. But they've got a corner here, Tottenham, and they're going to make another change as well. I'm just waiting to see who's coming on. Still 2-1.
And back to the game at Stamford Bridge. You get the feeling that Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 1 will not be the final score. Charlie?
No, it's lovely because you've got two teams who are full on, going after getting the next goal. Chelsea not holding back. Abraham tried an overhead kick there from a kind of relatively poor volley from Kante. But again, Villa going down their flanks, and they are really threatening here. We will get more goals here.
We said that Marco Silva, really, this was, you know, a free hit for him in some ways, in managerial terms. It's not turning out that way at all. If he wasn't in trouble 40-odd minutes ago, he's in massive trouble now, Alan McInally.
Yeah, it's a killer goal. It's a killer goal just before half-time. Just when that chance and Lovren gets his big toe on it and gives Everton a corner, you think, if you get one back here, you go in at 3-2, all of a sudden you think, come on, we're in this. And they literally go up the pitch. Mane has been unbelievable. Trent Alexander-Arnold drives. 50 yards he runs. There's a ball to the back post for Shaqiri if he wants it. Doesn't give it. But it's great play. Mane to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He bombs it. Mane doesn't just watch it. He's trying to catch him. Catch him he does. Little ball inside and a beautiful one-touch finish, left-footed. And again, no chance for Jordan Pickford. 4 goals for Liverpool, 1 for Everton.
And that 4th goal coming on the stroke of half-time. It's Sadio Mane's 13th of the season, and Liverpool on the brink of extending their unbeaten run to 32 Premier League games, and that will eclipse the record set back in 1987 to 1988. Meanwhile, back to the game between Chelsea and Aston Villa. We talked a lot about midfield players, about the Jack Grealishes and the Mason Mounts of this world. We touched on Willian at the weekend. How's he performed this evening, Charlie?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He set up Abrahams to make it 3 and probably put Villa to bed here. And it's just a counter-attack. Come on, 3 against 3. Now, if they leave him alone, he's probably going to take on Mings as Willian. And as he doesn't, Abrahams makes a beautiful diagonal run. The pass is perfect, and the big centre forward is caught in between, cutting it back across or trying to chip the goalkeeper. And because it's in between, it goes wide.
Back to St Mary's. Timo Pukki goal. It's changed the game a bit, Cammy, hasn't it?
Oh, it has indeed, Jeff. They're starting to dominate the midfield. Cantwell, Stiepermann and McLean are really running the game now. So much so that Ralph Hasenhüttl has put Ramu on and taken Gineppo off just to try and fill that void in midfield so that they're competing in there. Once again, if they get the ball through to Pukki in a forward position, that is their best option. At the moment, they can't seem to do that, but they're dominating the midfield, keeping possession. Southampton, very, very quiet at the moment.
Exeter beat Oxford United on penalties in the Football League Trophy, a 3-0 penalty shootout win. Let's go back to the game between Leicester City and Watford. It's a narrow advantage, too narrow for Brendan Rodgers, really, just that one Jamie Vardy penalty separating the two sides. But are Watford going to conjure up any shot on target in their first game under their interim manager, Hayden Mullins? Any sign of it, Tiss?
Nothing so far yet, Jeff, although they have just forced a corner. And I think they're just about to make a substitution as well. I think Dean is going to be coming off, but he's stayed on for this corner. Ball's got whipped in. Good defensive header by Johnny Evans, and it's into the hands of Kasper Schmeichel. Still no attempt on target for Watford.
Kasper Schmeichel, well, he's had such an easy night, he might as well be sitting in here. Look, we mentioned Liverpool's defensive weaknesses, and that's the only downside for them, and they've just shown their vulnerability again, Alan McInally.
Good football, really, really good football from the Toffees. Great play from Richarlison originally, and then just a little ball from Gylfi Sigurdsson into Bernard, who drives down, good ball into the middle, and he's good in the air, Richarlison. We know how tricky he is, how strong he is, but the boy's good in the air, and again, did he score at the weekend with his head? I think he did, and gets another one tonight, and that is something lovely. Lovely for Everton. He actually missed it, hit it with his shoulder, but it doesn't matter. It goes beyond Adrian into the net, and we have quite literally 1 second. I would imagine that might be it. It's going to be 4-2 at half-time. What a game. 6 goals in the first half. Incredible.
And he just ghosted in between Lovren and James Milner into that space, and he scored his 7th goal of the season, and maybe, just maybe, there's still an opportunity for Everton in this game. That was in the 48th minute of the game, and it is half-time at Anfield, and Marco Silva walks away and he waves his hand in disgust at someone. I'm not too sure who, but Liverpool 4, Everton 2 is a very, very unlikely half-time score. We'll be back with more in just a couple of minutes. Liverpool lead Everton 4-2 at half-time. That's the most goals in a Premier League Merseyside derby in the first half. There have been 6 shots on target and 6 goals scored so far in that game. Let's go out and about once again. Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 1. This is a terrifically entertaining game. What's happening now, Charlie?
Oh, a free kick, and Willian, who's been absolutely fabulous. And he gets the bend and he's got pace on it. Now, it's going right in the top corner. Tom Heaton has thrown himself right across. He knows he could end up batting off the goalpost, but he doesn't care. And he gets a hand to this. How he gets a hand to it, it's world class, the save. And it hits the inside of the post, comes back out, and they manage to get it to safety. What a stunning save from Heaton.
21 attempts Chelsea have had so far, just 2 of them have counted. They lead by 2 goals to 1. I thought Wolves might have put their game against West Ham to bed a moment or 2 ago, Tomo.
Moutinho, fantastic dead ball specialist, Jeff. He's on the right-hand side taking the free kick. He whips the ball inside. No, they all know the quality of him. It's got pace on it. It's in the middle of the goal, and he glances his header. He must go about a foot wide. They need a second goal, Wolves, to make themselves more comfortable in this game.
Off to St Mary's, Southampton 2, Norwich 1. Explain to me, Cammy, why the manager would decide to take off a striker who scored 9 goals in 10 games and replace him with somebody who hasn't scored in his last 17.
Well, I've been a manager, Jeff, but I've got no idea. But I've got no idea whatsoever because he's on fire. Everything he touches, Danny Ings, he either goes in the goal or goes near the goal. And he's taken him off and he's put Shea Adams on. So you live and die by your mistakes as a manager. This could come back to haunt him if Norwich get an equaliser or even go on to win the game. But at the moment, Romo, who came on as a sub, was wrestled back to midfield for Southampton, which has only happened in the last 5 minutes, and they're not dominating Norwich as much as they were before.
Still lead by 2-1. I mentioned earlier on about the Rosses involved in the game at Dingwall. It's Ross County against Hibs, managed by Jack Ross, and another Ross has just equalised for the home team. Frank Gilfeather.
Indeed he has. It's Ross Stewart. It really was courtesy of a terrible blunder by the Hibs goalkeeper, Chris Maxwell. There was a great high ball into the area. Maxwell came for it. He got a touch onto it, but all he did was manage to parry it straight to Ross Stewart, and the centre-forward made no meal of it, and he put it well past to give Ross County a very deserved lead, actually. They've done very deserved draw at this stage. They've done very well in the second half, and they pushed Hibs all the way to try and get this equaliser. So it's 1-1 here at Ross County.
Southampton with a chance to put the game against Norwich to bed, but some brilliant last-ditch defending, Cammy.
It was, but the thing is, Jeff, Cedric has just put in a brilliant ball, whereas if Danny Ings would have been on there, he would have scored. Shea Adams stood and watched that ball go across the 6-yard line, and as if to say, where's Danny Ings? Well, you came on for him a minute ago. And so what a chance that was. It is all Southampton once again.
Tammy Abraham's race his run at Stamford Bridge, Charlie.
Yeah, he took a little injury 5 minutes ago and he can't say. But I expect Giroud started at the weekend, didn't he? No Giroud, it's Batshuayi who's came on, who didn't, I think, get involved at the weekend. So, bit of chopping and changing here. I don't know who he trusts. Tag it with a cross. Villa are starting to wind the pressure up again. Jota's came on. All of a sudden, Grealish is waiting for a knockback, and they managed to get it to safety. But Villa again bombing forward and asking questions. Still 2-1.
Still 2-1 the scoreline there. Michy Batshuayi's only scored 1 Premier League goal so far this season. Got 5 in total, but just 1 in the top flight. Back to the game between Manchester United and Spurs. Is this a bit more like it from Spurs, Merson?
Yeah, a little bit, Jeff, but they're still not had a shot at De Gea. De Gea's had nothing to do, really. A ball come in, but Song did get the ball out on the left. He chips it to the far post, and Aurier's come in. He's come in too quickly, and it's gone over his head. So always remember, you can always come in. It's harder to come back out again when you're running in quickly. So bad play by Aurier, really, there. He should have held his run. He'd have had an easy tap in with his head, but it's still 2-1.
Leicester's under 21s with 2 goals to go to Doncaster now, and Admiral Musquet has got both of those goals, and you can see the Motherwell out of sight at St Mirren now. David Donaldson.
Yeah, good run down the left-hand side, and I have to say they were queuing up to put the ball in the back of the net. It fell to Alan Campbell, who eventually side-footed it home from close range. St Mirren 0, Motherwell 3.
3 straight-away defeats for Motherwell, but going to end that run this evening. You have to admire Aston Villa. They're really going for it now, Charlie.
Yeah, and the fact that Chelsea don't want to stop going forward either means the chance is going to come, but Kante has done what he does brilliantly. Gets back there to rescue it. Just McGinn gets down the right-hand side. He's not got a strong right foot, so he has to kind of drag it back. And Luiz has just arrived there. Oh, here's a lovely corner from Grealish. Little chance at the edge of the box. Another chance comes. Oh, he's fired over the top. They really should have done better. El Mohammadi, just before that. Villa really asking questions. Chelsea need another goal to put this game to bed.
Yeah, they do indeed. That's for sure. It's a terrific game of football. Chelsea leading by 2 goals to 1. Leicester leading Watford by a goal to none. And I guess in some ways, Tiss, the more Watford are drawn out in search of that equaliser, the more it plays into Leicester's hands.
Yeah, very much so. Just created another chance here for substitute Dennis Pratt. He's gone to try and curl it, but Firmino has got a block at him. Isaac's success has come on for Watford. He's obviously gone up top with Troy Deeney. Leicester have switched to a back 3, and James Justin is on for Leicester, and Domingo Quina has just come on as well as Watford's last change.
So pretty much last throw of the dice as far as Watford are concerned. Of course, managerless, though. Hayden Mullins is in temporary charge at present. They're looking for their 10th manager in 6 years. not a great place for longevity as far as managers are concerned. Back to the game between Wolves and West Ham United. Maybe a chance for Wolves. Phil Thompson.
Yeah, Johnny's just coming forward now. Just try to touch the ball. Ogbonna does really well to get to it. It's a goal! It's a goal, and Catrone, who's only just come on literally about 30 seconds ago. He's come on, and for Jimenez, who's been fantastic tonight. But from the edge of the box, along the ground, right into the far corner. Martin can't do anything about it. Now they're comfortable, Jeff. 2-0 Wolves.
2-0 Wolves. Catrone with his third Wolves goal. It's been a real stop-start type of career so far for him at Molineux, but he's on the score sheet there, and they lead by 2-0, and that should be enough, you would think, against West Ham, and the pressure will crank up on Manuel Pellegrini as well. Of course, they started the evening in 16th place in the table on 16 points, so just 4 outside the relegation zone. With Southampton winning, if they pick up 3 points, that gap will close even more. Back to the game between Manchester United and Spurs. Spurs trying to break from deep in their own half again, Merce.
Yeah, they are, Jeff. But Man United are pushing forward. All of a sudden now Ali's on the left-hand side. The flag stays down. Gets the ball on the left. He's going to cut back in on his right foot. He plays the ball across the pitch to Orio's. They're getting people back now, but Ori's going to whip it into the bar. That's a poor ball, straight into the keeper's hands. He had a shot a minute ago that went straight into the guy's hands as well. That was poor. 2-1.
I don't remember you mentioning Harry Kane at all so far.
No, he's not been good. He's not been good, Jeff. He's not been good tonight at all. He hasn't really had the service. Let's be honest, Man United have been a far better team, and I just don't think people have got the ball up to him, and people have got around him, and he hasn't been the best. Lingard's got a cramp. He has done a lot of running.
Done a lot of running, and at the moment the reward will be 3 points for the home side. Manchester United still lead by 2-1. Is Jose Mourinho heading for his first defeat as Tottenham manager, and is he heading for defeat? The club that he left in December 2018 after 2.5 years, and those 2 trophies, of course, that he won there, the League Cup and the Europa League as well. It looks like he's going to go away empty-handed from this one as it stands at the moment. And as it stands at the moment, Aston Villa look like they're going to go away empty-handed as well from Stamford Bridge. Though Jack Grealish doing everything he can to get on the ball. Charlie.
Yeah, and well, I wouldn't write them off here because I still think Chelsea need a third goal. Mings had left his position at centre-back, and he's got to take that risk. Here we go a little. Hudson-Odoi is on now. They took Pulisic off, and he actually played OK, but it just tells you that there's no thought of defending here from Lampard or from Smith. And there's no doubt that both teams are going for this, but Villa need that equaliser, and they are threatening.
They are threatening. They're dominant territorially, at least, and Williams down on his haunches at the moment. I'm not sure that it's just a touch of cramp or something more than that, but the referee has stopped play. Villa wanting to get on with it quickly, but the referee has not allowed them to do so. Chris Kamara has brought them back, kicking the calf, Charlie tells me, but William down on the ground at present. Back to the game between Leicester City and Watford, and well, we've had really all the throws of the dice as far as Watford are concerned. What's happening, Tiss?
Well, you say that, Jeff. It was only their second substitution that came before. I thought it was their third. They've just made their third. Andre Gray is on, and Troy Deeney has gone off on 87 minutes. We've got 3+ stoppage to go, but still Watford not been able to make any inroads.
No inroads, no goals so far. 9 goals this season. That tells its own story as far as Watford are concerned. It's the fewest of any side in the Premier League. All hands to the pump at Stamford Bridge. If you're a Chelsea fan, you are absolutely on edge, Charlie.
Yeah, Kepa has managed to get... He should save it, Jeff, but he's asked questions of it. And again, it's Luiz, who the cross comes in from El Mohammadi, and he gets a free header. He's about 8 yards or so out, gets decent pace on it, but the keeper done well to save it as Chelsea counter-attack. And
this is the danger as far as Aston Villa are concerned. They've got nothing to lose. They are going for it, but Chelsea counter-attacking. They lead by 2-1. Remember, they've not scored 3 home Premier League goals this season, and they still haven't because the attempt there was blocked. Back to the game between Wolves and West Ham. Looks like it's all over, doesn't it, really? Wolves 2-0 up against West Ham. Are West Ham still huffing and puffing a bit, Tomo?
Yeah, they are, Jeff. They just can't get enough pressure on this this back line. Well organised, back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. They look well in control and being full value for this, at the moment, victory.
Ross for Ross again. Ross C. Stewart with 2 goals, and Ross County lead Hibs, managed by Jack Ross, by 2-1. Time is running out for Tottenham if they're going to salvage anything from Old Trafford against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, but they are pressing again, Merce.
They are. Song's on the left-hand side, plays it to Ericsson, and he plays it to Ali. They're around the edge of the box here, and all of a sudden they get... And it's a shot. It's easy saved by the keeper, 30 yards out. I mean, no. Poor effort. Dembele.
And Dombele, yeah. Well, look, Mercy, it's a conservative estimate, 30 yards out. He's probably even further than
probably
that.
was.
What on earth is he thinking of doing? Try and beat David De Gea from that distance was absolute nonsense. Back to the game between Southampton and Norwich. Southampton 2, Norwich 1. I was going to ask you, Cammy, if Southampton have weathered the storm, but maybe they haven't.
No, they haven't, Jeff. There's 4 minutes of time added on, and they are desperate, Southampton, because Norwich are keeping possession brilliantly. Hernandez down this left-hand side, all hands to the pumps. It comes back into Byron, and they've defended. Romo has done so well since he came on as a sub. Defensively, just in front of that back line, he has made so many interceptions.
Watford on 8 points at the moment, Norwich on 11 as it stands. Southampton will move out of the relegation places, and who'll be there instead of them? Everton will be there instead of them. Marco Silva's just getting back into his seat of the second half, about to get underway at Anfield, with Liverpool leading by 4-2. Back to the game between Leicester and Watford. Watford just cannot conjure up a shot of any sort, despite the fact they're trailing by a goal to nil, and Leicester just running down the clock, Tiss.
Yeah, they are indeed, keeping the ball in the corner. 5 minutes has just gone up on the extra time board, but you'd have to think Leicester will see this out, because Watford just haven't threatened Kasper Schmeichel's goal at all.
Not a single shot for Kasper Schmeichel to save. Here comes Spurs! Paul Merson.
It's a corner. Well, I ain't gone out for a corner. Lindelof, great bit of defended by Lindelof. They got it away. Son got on the outside there, and he's got it cleared. So.
What a chance, says Chris Kamara, and I can see Daniel Farke with his head in his hands. What happened,
The cross came in from Hernandez on the right-hand side, and Buendia's got a header. It's not the easiest header, Jeff, but what he's tried to do, he's tried to flick it into the far corner, and he's not put enough on it. And that's why he's disappointed in himself, because he's just got to get a little bit more on the header, and it nestles in the far corner. But for Southampton, what a relief. Goes out for a goal kick.
It does, and their fans singing their hearts out at the moment, trying to sing their side to victory. It would be back-to-back home wins, first time this season that would have happened, of course. Meanwhile, back to the game at Stamford Bridge, and still Aston Villa in search of an equalising goal.
Yeah, still in search of it, and Chelsea's still bombing forward. The chances, we've got 4 added-on minutes, we're halfway through that. But Chelsea have opportunities. Hudson-Odoi just to take it into the wide areas and run down the clock. He doesn't. He starts to skip by a couple of players. He gives that away, and then Villa are bombing forward again. Still 2 minutes for the Villa.
And time is up as far as West Ham are concerned. Wolves have beaten them by 2-0. Dendoncker and Cotroni were the goal scorers, and Manuel Pellegrini, the pressure cranks up on him. That is for sure. They've won once in 10 games in all competitions. That was the win at the weekend over Chelsea. Meanwhile, back to Southampton. Cammy's going to have a heart attack in a minute. Cammy.
It was Pookie who was put in, and you think, Craigie, from his angle, you've seen him score from there, but he tried to be unselfish and knocked it across the box, and Yoshida was just there to clear it.
Saints hang on, and well, they almost got away on the break then. Meanwhile, Spurs. They're throwing the kitchen sink at Manchester United now, but is it too late? Paul Merson.
They got a corner left-hand side. Eriksen's going to put in an in-swinger. He's got to beat the first man, whatever happens here. And it's cleared. It's cleared.
Chance after chance after chance for Norwich City, Cammy.
He had 2 bites at the cherry. Sam Byron, the first one ricocheted back off a Southampton defender. And the second chance, you think it's easier for him. Get it on target, and it goes over the crossbar.
Glorious opportunities for Norwich to get back on level terms, but at the moment, their luck is out, and it is all over as well at Stamford Bridge. And Aston Villa's luck is out. Dean Smith shakes hands with Frank Lampard and the other Chelsea coaching staff. Tammy Abraham scored against his former club. Trezeguet equalised for Aston Villa, but Mason Mount, with his first goal at Stamford Bridge since August, wrapped up the points for the home tide. Manchester United trying to wrap up the points against Spurs. Paul Merson.
Well, they should have. Rashford gets through. He's not had the greatest of touches, and then he has the shot straight at the keeper, straight at the defender. Instead of just taking it into the corner flag, when you get quite a young team, this United team, they're not really killing the game. It's poor game management at the moment. It's becoming end-to-end, and it's playing into Tottenham's hands. Still 2-1.
Still 2-1. Tottenham still continuing to press, and Manchester United hold on. I can see Ralph Hasenhüttl here in charge. He's on the pitch. It's that familiar Hasenhüttl charge after a victory, and Southampton win by 2-1. Back-to-back wins for them, and the way things stand at the moment, they're going to be out of the relegation places, and Spurs have gone very close to equalising against Manchester United. Paul Merson.
Yeah, ball goes in, and Ali chests it down. He hits it quickly across the grass, and it's a good save by the keeper, De Gea, and it's still 2-1.
And the game is over at the King Power Stadium. Well, the referee's not blown for time, but trust me, it's over.
It is indeed. It's James Maddison who's got the goal to make it 2-0, Jeff. At the other end, a minute before, Watford did actually have a shot on target. Schmeichel had to make a save, but Leicester have gone up the other end. Maddison, brilliant bit of skill, goes past the defender, strikes it left-footed. Foster gets half a stop to it, but not enough to keep the ball out of the net. 2-0, game over.
James Maddison with his 7th goal of the season, and Leicester never stop. They've scored in the 80th minute or later in 10 of their last 12 games. Now, they are relentless. They suck you in and hit you on the break, and that is precisely what has happened. Still Spurs, the white waves continue to flow forward at Old Trafford. Paul Merson.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tiz was showing me the goal. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka, great tackle on the left hand, and the final whistle goes, Jeff. Final whistle goes.
And there's a handshake and a hug and a word from Jose Mourinho into the ear of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And in the end, Manchester United have hung on. Hung on's probably not fair to them because they dominated the majority of the game. It was only late in the day that Spurs really got back into it. 2 Marcus Rashford goals, his 11th and 12th of the season. Wedged between them, a fantastic strike from Dele Alli, his 4th goal in 3 games. It's a first defeat for Spurs under Jose Mourinho, and it's come of it all places, his old club. And any crisis that there might have been, maybe that is over now because Manchester United go to the derby against City on the back of a win, and a big win at that as well. And Leicester City go back 2nd in the table. They've beaten Watford by 2-0. Jamie Vardy with his 14th goal of the season. He scored in 7 successive games, and James Maddison with a late clincher. The second half is well underway now in the game at Anfield. Goal just before half-time added a bit of interest to this, of course. Liverpool were 4-1 to the good before Richarlison got a go back for Everton. How's the second half going, Alan McInally?
Yeah, there's no changes apart from that one after 30-odd minutes by Everton's manager to bring Bernard on for Sidibe, and there's going to be a foul here for Everton. Van Dijk's not happy because he got caught originally by Calvert-Lewin, but then a challenge from Lallana on Calvert-Lewin has decided. Mike Dean said it's a free kick about 25 yards out on the right-hand side, so you know this is going to be Digne left-footed curling in, or will it be Sigurdsson right-footed curling out? Let's have a look then. Everybody in, Mina's up, Calvert-Lewin, Keane, Digne left-footed, tries a dig, goes over the bar. Nothing really more than that to tell you about in the start of the second half. Still 4-2.
Wasn't the worst strike in the world from Lucas Digne, and you know he can hit them. Peterborough 1, Ipswich 1 in the Football League trophy, and that game has gone to penalties. We'll let you know how that turns out. Let's just show you what's happened so far tonight in the Premier League. These are the full-time scores, and of course one latest score as well. And it's a clean sweep for the home sides. Look at that, doesn't happen very often, does it? Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 1. Chelsea with goals from Tammy Abraham. He scored 26 goals for Villa last season. He scored against them this time around. Trezeguet equalised with his 3rd goal in 4 games. Mason Mount got the winner smashing strike as well. His 1st goal at Stamford Bridge since August. Terrific ovation, by the way, from the Chelsea fans to John Terry at the full-time whistle. But Chelsea have won by 2-1. They move on to 29 points in that Premier League table. We'll show you the table in just a moment or two. Leicester beat Watford by 2-0, and they go back 2nd in the table. Watford managed just 1 shot on target in the entire game, and it came right at the death. Jamie Vardy scored from the penalty spot, his 14th goal of the season. James Maddison added his 7th. Vardy thought he should have had a penalty in the first half, but it wasn't given. And Brendan Rodgers, well, their run goes on. Now, they've won the last 8 games in all competitions. That is a club record. And, of course, it's come against the club that he first managed. Brendan Rodgers' first managerial role was at Watford. How Watford could do with a Brendan Rodgers in charge right now. They stay rock bottom. Liverpool lead Everton by 4-2. What a staggering game. Divock Origi putting Liverpool ahead in just 6 minutes. A second goal came from Shaqiri. Michael Keane got go back. It was very much game on then. Origi scored again, an absolutely delightful take. Sadio Mane with his 13th goal of the season before Richarlison gave Everton just a glimmer of hope. Of course, Liverpool unbeaten in 19 games against Everton in all competitions. That's the way it is at the moment, and Liverpool are on the front foot as we talk. Manchester United 2, Spurs 1. Manchester United, both goals coming from Marcus Rashford. They're unbeaten in 9 home games in all competitions now. They've won 6 of those games. They can't keep a clean sheet, admittedly. And Dele Alli got a goal for Spurs, but it's the first defeat for Jose Mourinho as the Tottenham manager. And Manchester United will move above Spurs in the table by virtue of that. Southampton hung on against Norwich in the end, totally dominant early doors. Danny Ings with his 9th goal in 10 games isn't double figures for the season. He's got 10 for the campaign now. Ryan Bertrand with his first in 16 months against a club where he had a loan period. Norwich created nothing early on, but they created a heck of a lot late on after Timu Pukki had scored his 10th goal of the season. They just could not find the equaliser, though. They've only scored 4 away goals all season long, and a second was just beyond them. Southampton beating Norwich by 2 goals to 1. And Wolves go marching on, unbeaten in 10 Premier League games now. Their best top-flight run since 1971 to 72. They've beaten West Ham by 2 goals to 0. West Ham 1 in 10 in all competitions. Dendoncker and Cutrone, the goal scorers. Now, this is the Premier League table as it stands right now. Of course, it'll change because Liverpool are playing Everton at the moment. But as it stands right now, the gap is 5 points. It looks very likely that it's going to be 8 points again, doesn't it? Leicester back up into 2nd place. Manchester City sit 3rd on 32, but Chelsea close up again in 4th on 29 points. Another good day for Wolves, 23 points, and they're up to 5th place in the table. Talk of a crisis at Manchester United, surely premature. Top 6 as they are now on 21 points. Crystal Palace also on 21 after that brilliant 10-man win over Bournemouth last night. And Tottenham dropped below Manchester United, the side that beat them this evening. Sheffield United and Arsenal complete the top half of the table. Down at the bottom, looking grim, isn't it, as far as Watford are concerned? They have 8 points, Norwich on 11. And as it stands right now, Everton, with tough games to come, are in the relegation places on 14 points. They are only a point behind Southampton, Brighton and Aston Villa, admittedly. Southampton winning this evening, Brighton not playing, of course, and Aston Villa losing at Chelsea. Then come Newcastle and West Ham on 16, along with Bournemouth. Only 2 points off the relegation places. So from 12th down over, they're all looking over their shoulders, aren't they? Burnley on 18 points at the moment at present. Meanwhile, listen to this scoreline that's coming in from Celtic Park. Celtic always beat Hamilton, always. But maybe not tonight, Mark Benstead.
Yeah, maybe not tonight. Indeed, it is Celtic 1, Hamilton 1. The visitors with an equaliser in the 90th minute here at Celtic Park. You felt like this could happen. Celtic hadn't been able to get that second goal. There was some anxiety around the stadium, and Hamilton have just got and made that a lot worse for the defending champions. It was a long throw into the box by Alex Gogic. It was flicked, I think it was off a defender's head. It dropped to Marius Ogpo, the substitute. He held it up, turned the defender, and got a low shot into the bottom corner beyond the dive of Fraser Forster. Big, dramatic scenes here at Celtic Park. It's 1 apiece.
Yeah, brilliant for Brian Rice's side, but not so great for Neil Lennon's team there. The only consolation is, and who would have thought this at the start of the evening, that neither of the top 2 sides are winning, because Rangers are being held at Aberdeen as well. So consequently, neither of the top 3 sides are winning in truth, because Aberdeen sit 3rd at the moment. Aberdeen 2, Rangers 2, Celtic 1, Hamilton 1. Meanwhile, there's been an equalising goal at Tynecastle. Let's hear about it, Stuart Level.
And it arrived for the home side on 88 minutes. Hearts have offered very little threat in the second half, but they got a corner that was whipped into the 6-yard box. A little bit of pinball that dropped for Stephen McLean. He lashed it in from 6 yards. Hearts have got a chance to get their noses in front with a couple of minutes to go. Hearts 1, Livingston 1.
Well, the fans will be pleased just to see a goal, because they haven't scored in 7 of their last 9, and they had to wait till the 88th minute for that equalising goal. Meanwhile, Liverpool leading by 4 goals to 2 against Everton well into the second half. Now, are Liverpool comfortable, or are Everton still causing them some causes for concern, Alan McInally?
Yeah, I think causes for concern every now and again, Jeff, to be fair. They've certainly had the majority possession, but Everton obviously getting that second goal before half-time has been a little bit of a breather for them. They're just about to make another change, incidentally. They're going to bring on Moise Keane for Calvert-Lewin. In terms of chances, nothing really so far. Mina probably lucky he didn't pick up a booking. He's fouled Origi about 8 billion times, 4-2.
Still 6 shots on target, still 6 goals. The best teams win games so often when it looks like it's got away from them. Mark Benstead.
Yeah, you need someone to dig you out of a hole. You need someone to be the inspiration. Who do you turn to? You turn to your captain. Scott Brown has done that for Celtic yet again tonight. Into additional time, the captain gets the ball on the edge of the box, drives into the area and then hits a shot across the keeper and in, pulls away to the corner to celebrate. Great scenes here at Celtic Park. A captain's contribution. Celtic lead again now by 2-1.
And it's come in the 92nd minute of the game. And it's full-time score in Scotland as well. Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 0. It means that they are now, Kilmarnock, unbeaten in 10 home games. Still playing, of course, at Anfield. Liverpool leading Everton by 4 goals. So we'll be back with much more in a couple of minutes' time.
Tight.
It's all over Pittodrie, and what a comeback from Aberdeen. They were 2-0 down against second in the table Rangers. Goals in the first half from Arfield and Jack, but then Gallagher and Constantine have come back, and Aberdeen snatch a point, and Rangers lose ground on Celtic at the top of the table. The gap between the two is 2 points because Celtic have beaten Hamilton by 2-1. Meanwhile, Liverpool lead Everton by 4-2. But there was another moment of real concern for the home fans. Alan McInally.
Yeah, again, it's a header on target, and it's Richarlison. He got the first one and scored the goal, and he gets one from a corner from the right-hand side here. And it's either, if he doesn't get it, Michael Keane's going to get it. And not really brilliant defending. How often can we say that? Certainly from Van Dijk, who lets him in too easy with the header. Richarlison, good header. The only thing is it's right at the goalkeeper, and he makes a pretty routine save, but certainly glimpses the fact that Everton are not out of the game yet, 4-2.
Yeah, 4-2, definitely not out of the game. And, of course, that was an 8:15 kickoff. Still plenty of time to go in that game. Manchester United have beaten Spurs by 2-1. They leapfrogged them in the table. And I know that Spurs, threw the kitchen sink at Manchester United in the closing stages. But over the 90 minutes, did United deserve it, Merson?
Thoroughly, yeah, much better team tonight. I thought they were outstanding. It's one of the best I've seen them play for a long time. Played with a lot of energy. I mean, Rashford was unplayable at times. First goal, keeper's got to save it. It's a poor effort by the keeper. But then he's a great bit of skill for the penalty. Penalty's a bit harsh. I think the Vardy one was more of a penalty in Tissier's game. But in between that, Dele Alli got an absolute worldie. One of the goals of the season, in my opinion. But Man United thoroughly deserved it. And I thought Fred was very good today.
Marcus Rashford, unplayable, you said at times. 6 attempts, 4 on target and 2 goals. Were there signs there then, Merce, that this is the sort of team that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is trying to build towards?
I think so. I think Tottenham were pretty poor, if I'm being honest. I thought Tottenham just turned up, Jeff, today and thought, we'll roll Man United over the way we're playing. Yeah, they've got to have a bit of game management. The game just becomes so open, and so many times when they could have run the ball into the corner flag, and you just got to kill the game. Bit of experience, and it become end to end. And at the end, Dele Alli has a shot that De Gea saves, but couldn't have asked any more. There's ways of winning games. Even when you don't win games, there's ways of losing football matches. And you can always tell if the players are on your side when you lose a game. And today, these players work their socks off for a manager who, in the papers, you'd probably say was under a bit of pressure. So, fair play to them. The board will have a bit of a decision to make because these players give everything tonight.
Well, it's an easy decision now, isn't it?
I don't know. Sometimes the boards always make their mind up whatever happens, don't they? I mean, you're talking about Silva. I mean, if he'd have gone and won this game today, people are talking about him being out the door tomorrow. So, I don't know about that. Pochettino, a manager of his calibre, is coming up.
Is that the only reason that Solskjaer's under pressure, you think? The fact that Pochettino is available?
And he costs nothing. And he costs nothing. I know Man United got a lorry load of money, or they're one of the, the biggest club in the world. But it does help when you can get someone of that quality and it isn't costing you anything, bar wages. But now he's got over one hurdle. I think he's got to get over the Derby game hurdle. To be honest, if Man City get going in a game, they can beat anybody 4 or 5. But if Man United play like this tonight, there's plenty of goals in it for Man United this weekend. There's no doubt about that because, going forward, Man United were a right handful. And as I say, Rashford was unplayable. And with the back 4 of Man City, if he has an early night, he'll be all right.
So clearly, Merce, from a Spurs perspective, Jose Mourinho, all the headlines, won 3 out of 3, but he hasn't solved all their issues.
Polyfiller at the moment. He's covering up the cracks, if I'm being honest. I think, even the games they won, Jeff, weren't great. I mean, at the end, Wilson should have scored last weekend. He took his time. A player who would have been full of confidence 3 or 4 months ago would have scored that, took his time. Olympiacos, let's be honest, if they were a better team in Europe, they'd have picked Man United. If that was PSG or someone, they'd have picked Tottenham off and won 4 or 5 that night. So he knows he's got a lot of work to do at Tottenham. It's still... He hasn't come in and changed too much. These players are still... You look at this game and you're thinking, are these players with Mourinho? When I look at the Man United players, I look at them, but this Tottenham team looked exactly like when Pochettino was in charge 3 weeks ago. Exactly the same. So it's not great for Tottenham. They probably thought they turned the corner and they probably turned a bet. They're on a bend at the moment.
Thanks very much indeed, Merce. Just looking at shots of Kenny Dalglish at the moment and Ian Rush sitting alongside him. I'm not sure they'll absolutely be enjoying what they're seeing at the moment. Moise Keane is on for Everton, who trailed by 4 goals to. Has Keane made any sort of impact, Alan McInally?
No, there'll be a couple of absolute legends up there, and they won't be particularly happy with what they're looking at the moment. Davis has just been picked up a foul, Jeff, so he's in the book as well. a foul on Alexander-Arnold. Just looking at Henderson is getting ready to come on to join the piece and probably just keep the ball. Liverpool have been happier to keep the ball, but in a much deeper position now, with the ball eventually going to the goalkeeper, and then as they try and feed it forward. But certainly not particularly an attacking sense. Liverpool have made any other chances since I spoke to you last. Everton are quite happy to contain at the moment in time, but they're going to have to take a few more chances if they're going to get these 2 goals back. Ball back with Wijnaldum way deep in the half. Liverpool continue to lead 4-2.
9 of the last 14 Premier League meetings between these two sides have been drawn. Marco Silva will bite your arm off for that right now. We're back with more in a couple of minutes on this Gillette Soccer Special. Everton are losing by 4 goals to 2 at Anfield against Liverpool. And they're making, well, a slightly head-scratching substitution. Alan McInally.
Yeah, they are. I'm just watching Liverpool making a double one here, incidentally. It looks as though Henderson's on for Lallana, and I think Firmino will be coming on. But the one you're talking about, Jeff, is Schneiderlin, who's come on for Tom Davies. And remember, you've got Walcott. I wouldn't have brought him on either. But you've got Cenk Tosun also on the bench. You need a goal. You're looking to try and send them forward and try and put a little bit more pressure on Lovren and Van Dijk. Origi's had a good game. He's gone off. And a big round of applause to Firmino, who's on. So a double substitution from Liverpool and one from Everton, which just means Schneiderlin just replaces Tom Davies in the middle of the park. Still 4-2.
Alan McInally is not a Theo Walcott fan.
I am, but I want him to do more. And if he doesn't do enough, he's not going to get in a big game like this, where he should be the one who should be really influencing stuff for Everton. And the fact that the manager, Marco Silva, doesn't put him on at this stage, you're like, what does he do from Monday to Friday? Can't have him. Anyway, Tosin's not on either. Schneiderlin's on.
Alan McInally is not a Theo Walcott fan. Let's show you the results in the Scottish Premiership this evening. Aberdeen 2, Rangers 2. Well, what a result for Aberdeen. Rangers 2 goals to the good. Scott Arfield, first league goal since August. Ryan Jack against his former club, and Stevie Gerrard's side looked to be cruising. But Aberdeen came back. John Gallagher with his first goal for his club. And then Andrew Constantine, and Aberdeen stretched their unbeaten run to 6 games and just dent Rangers' title hopes a little. Celtic left it late, the 92nd minute to be precise, to beat Hamilton. Ryan Christie had put them in front, but Hamilton equalised on the 90th minute through Ogbo before Scott Brown popped up with a 92nd minute winner. How important could that be when they come to tot up the points at the end of the season? Hearts are managerless, but they got a point this evening against Livingston. Marvin Bartley put the visitors in front. They've not won in 7. But, of course, Hearts in no sort of form either. 2 wins in 14 league games. Stephen McLean popped up with an 88th minute equaliser for them. Kilmarnock stretched their unbeaten home run to 10. A goalless night, though, against St Johnstone, who not won away in all competitions this season. Kilmarnock 8 clean sheets in 10 home games as well. Ross County have come from behind to beat Hibs. Jack Ross's first defeat in charge of Hibs. Christian Doidge put them in front. His 9th goal of the season. He's got 7 in his last 5. Everything in the garden was rosy against a Ross County side who lost their last 3 home games and conceded 11 goals in doing so. But then Ross Stewart popped up with 2 goals for Ross County to turn the whole thing on its head, and County win by 2 goals to 1. Motherwell, easy night for them. They've won by 3 goals to 0 away at St Mirren. 2 from James Scott and 1 from Campbell. So St Mirren stuck on 11 points down at the foot of the table. Let's show you the table, in fact, how it stands right now. And there you have it. Celtic 2 points clear at the top after their results this evening. They have 40, Rangers on 38, then a gap back to Aberdeen on 29. Motherwell close to within 1 point of them on 28. Kilmarnock and Hibs in the top half. Down at the bottom, the start of the night, 3 sides all had 11 points. But now there's only 1. St Mirren rooted at the foot of the table. They are bottom. St Johnstone on 12, along with Hamilton and Hearts, and just a little gap to Livingston on 15. And Ross County, who stopped the rot rather for them after a poor run of results, they have 17 points and in 7th place. AFL Trophy games have been taking place tonight. Bristol Rovers and Leyton Orient, that went to penalties. Bristol Rovers have won 4-2 in the penalty shootout. Doncaster Rovers 0, Leicester's under 21s 3. No problems for Leicester's under 21 there. A couple of goals for Admiral Muscawi in that victory. Exeter 0, Oxford United 0 at St James's Park. It went to a penalty shootout, and Exeter have come out on top in that penalty shootout. Oxford have been having a fantastic run of late. I suspect they weren't fielding their strongest side this evening. Peterborough 1, Ipswich 1. The visitors win 6-5 on penalties. They're still playing at Prenton Park. Tranmere lead by 3 goals to 2 against Manchester United's under-21. Chong got both of the Manchester United goals there. There is 15 minutes of added time at Prenton Park, so goodness knows what has gone on during the course of that game. Let's go back to Anfield then, shall we? Can see Sadio Mane in shot at the moment. And Liverpool, well, they're looking to put this game to bed, that is for sure. Alan.
Mane's been different class, by the way. He's been really, really good driving in. Whenever he gets the ball, he hardly goes left and right. He goes forward towards the Everton goal, and he picks up must be a free kick, actually, because I'm presuming that must be the case when the likes of Lovren and Van Dijk go forward to try and get this cross from Milner, right-footed, coming into the box. The onus is on Everton here, Jeff, no question about it. 4 goals they've conceded, they've only got 2 back. It's up to them to try and get them back in. Shaqiri with the ball in this time, and the ball over from Wijnaldum on the near post. But certainly Everton need to try and turn the tables here. They need to put more pressure and get a little bit of nervousness into Anfield. Yes, it was slightly behind them, and a header over the top. But nevertheless, another half chance for Liverpool. Doesn't matter, they've got still that 2-goal advantage.
And they have 13 minutes to hold on to that 2-goal advantage. Plus one assumes 3 or 4 minutes of added time. At the moment, not really under any sort of threat. They're heading for a 32nd unbeaten top-flight game. That will be a new club record. A 48th home Premier League game without defeat. They haven't lost at home since Crystal Palace beat them back in April 2017. Absolutely astonishing. And a 20th unbeaten game in all competitions against Everton. Who knows? It may change. I can tell you that Manchester United's under-21s have had a player, Ayodeji Sotona, sent off in the 107th minute. And that's not extra time, the 107th minute of normal time in their game at Tranmere. Goodness me. Let's talk about what happened, shall we, at the King Power Stadium this evening. Leicester have beaten Watford by 2-0. Don't mean to sound this insulting in any way, shape or form, Tis, but was this a routine win for Leicester?
It was fairly routine. I mean, Watford were pretty well organised, got a lot of men behind the ball. First half, although Leicester kind of dominated the play, really have too many clear-cut chances. Jose Perez probably had the best one with the volley at the back post, which he mishit. But once Leicester did get the first goal through the penalty that was reviewed by VAR, you didn't really see Watford getting back into it. Yeah, they had their first shot on target in about the 93rd minute of the game, and it was literally a P-roller that was at Schmeichel from the edge of the box. And from that, Leicester went up the other end and got the second goal through James Maddison. And on the balance of play, they probably deserved the second one.
Was that Leicester penalty given by VAR, was that justice done? Because in the first half, of course, they had a massive penalty shout rejected by VAR.
Yeah, they did. Craig Pawson decided to give a yellow card to Jamie Vardy for simulation. I think the replay shows that there was a clip on Vardy as he just nicked the ball past Mariappa. But the VAR stayed with the referee's on-field decision. Wasn't clear and obvious enough to overturn it. I can probably understand that, but certainly I thought the penalty that was given, again, a little bit soft. You know, the cross comes in, and the defender just puts his arm out and he kind of almost pokes Johnny Evans in the eye with his fingers. Johnny Evans goes down. Craig Pawson doesn't have any hesitation in pointing to the spot.
Going to come back to you in a moment because the game's not over at Anfield just yet, but it really, really should be. And if you wanted a chance to fall to anybody, you'd want it to fall to Sadio Mane, Alan McInally.
Oh, it's a great pass. I think it's Henderson with the ball through, and actually, I mean, they've got Wijnaldum forward and Sané. It's a great take by Sané outside of the right foot, and it just perfectly drops for him. He tries to side foot it and just place it into the corner, and it goes the other side of the post. Agonising for Klopp, agonising for Phil Thompson. The game should be over. It's not. It's only 4.
Was Henderson's pass a long ball, Alan McInally?
Yes, I think we could count that as a long ball, Jeff.
That's a long ball, goodness me.
It was certainly over 30 or 40 yards. No question.
Pretty long ball then.
But another goal chance, incidentally.
Still Liverpool leading by 4-2. So, Alan, Tiss rather, Leicester 2, Watford 0. And at the end of the game, James Maddison scored. I mentioned that statistic. They have scored in the 80th minute or later in 10 of the last 12 games in all competitions, which I guess is just indicative of how they play the game, you know, suck teams onto them.
Yeah, very much so. No, they keep going, they keep passing the ball, they keep possession, they keep putting pressure on teams. They pass the ball, they're very patient in their play. And clearly, late goals are becoming a speciality. And teams do, you know, eventually they do wear teams down, and that's what all very good teams do.
So there's been a lot of speculation about Brendan Rodgers, hasn't there? Brendan says he's really happy at Leicester, and why wouldn't you be? His side is sitting second in the league. Does it puzzle you at all that he hasn't categorically come out and said, I have no interest in joining Arsenal?
Does it puzzle me? No. It doesn't puzzle me at all, because all managers like to keep their options open, I think. And, you know, if he's on a certain amount of money at Leicester and Arsenal pay the release clause and treble his money, you know, he'll probably go, yeah, all right, I might have a go at that. And so I think they always like to leave a little window there just in case.
So still a slight cause for concern for Leicester fans?
Well, to be honest, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, if I was in Brendan Rodgers' shoes, why would I want to go to Arsenal right now? Why would you?
No.
I know they're a bigger football club, but the state of play at this particular moment in time, he's got his Leicester team to second in the league, Why would he throw that away to go and join Arsenal mid-season?
A bigger football club, but a football club in turmoil, whereas Leicester, of course, they have very supportive owners and are not flying at the moment. I mean, it's obviously 8 straight wins in all competitions now. Just a word about Watford. And I know you say they were solid defensively, but with players like, you know, Delafeu and Troy Deeney, Pereira when he's fit and such, surely somebody has to tell him you have to score a goal to win a game.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And obviously, Hayden Mullins has gone there and just tried to set up and try to be difficult to beat, which they were in the first half. But the position that they're in at the moment in the league, you shouldn't really be playing for draws. I think you have to, and they have some good attacking players there, but they really barely threatened. And the 2 or 3 occasions that they did, their final ball was really poor. The choice of final ball in that final third of the pitch was really poor this evening.
If Everton are going to get anything from this Merseyside derby, they have to score soon, Alan McInally.
Yeah, do the other. Deeney did well a moment ago, Jeff did really well. Got to the byline, a little dink to the back post, just got too much on it. As a couple of the players were already in the 6-yard box and it went beyond. They just had a corner there. Here he is. Mane's in this time. Mane's onside. Round the goalie. Can he get it? No, can he? He's looking for somebody in the middle. Chance and they managed to get it away. And Mason Holgate does really well. But Mane through. Goalie to beat. Well done, Jordan Pickford. Make that still only 2 to the good.
Well done, Jordan Pickford. But he should have had a hat-trick by now. No question whatsoever. Sadio Mane, who's been absolutely brilliant for Liverpool, but he's missed a couple of glorious chances this evening. Let's talk.
What's happening here?
What happened, Alan McInally?
Oh, just literally, Jeff, as you were taking away a ball through to Moise Kean, pretty central as well. Takes it with his right foot, tries to maybe pass it into the corner and doesn't get it well. It's a great ball from Iwobi. It's a little reverse pass. He's onside. He's through Moise Kean, takes a couple of touches. He shoots it past. What a good chance. What a really good chance. And he can't hit the target. Still 4-2. Don't know how.
It was a great chance. I mean, he hasn't broken his duck. This is his 13th appearance. It's his £27.5 million move from Juventus. And the boy's only 19 years of age. But what a chance that was to win a place in the hearts and minds of all Everton fans, and also to set the pulses of all Liverpool fans racing in the remaining minutes. But 4-2 remains the scoreline. Moise Kean missing a glorious, glorious chance. Chelsea beat Aston Villa by 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. We wondered if there was a bit of a problem about playing at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea. They had to work mighty hard, didn't they, Charlie?
Far harder than they would have liked to. The credit to Villa because they like to go forward. I think they've got a nervy defence, but they managed to hang into the game. Got a little bit fortunate to get level just before half-time, but, you know, Mount, Abraham's both scoring. Willian was different class tonight. I think Mount was very good, but Willian was absolutely fabulous to watch. But it was hard work. They managed to manipulate it and get the 3 points, and we'd be comfortable and happy with that. But you could see frustration in Frank Lampard's face at times, as if, I'm not sure about this defence. It will be an up and down season for them. They're a lovely position in the league in terms of the top 4, but there's a lot of hard work still ahead of them.
I mean, Tammy Abraham was back this evening. How big a difference did he make?
Well, he makes a difference, and I think he also, with the link-up play that he has with Mason Mount, is very important. You know, not just the fact he scored, but he did come off with an injury. I don't think it's too serious. Didn't look too unhappy. Willian also came off with an injury. So Chelsea are asking questions of a lot of players. Coming to this festive season, you need these guys fit. You know, there's so many games, only so many things that the youngsters can keep you going at. These experienced players, and Willian in particular, has been absolutely remarkable in consistency this season. So good signs for Chelsea, but still, I think, vulnerable defensively.
Might that become an issue, Charlie? So many games for young players, and all of them mean something.
Yeah, because you could see already, like, Abrams has just been out of sorts a little bit, picks up a couple of little injuries. Mason Mount the same. There'll be a little bit of like cold spells that they have, and their touches off, and everything's just going the wrong way. Hard work might get you back there, but sometimes it's a little bit of luck, a little bit of trust. So that's why it's going to be an up and down season for Chelsea. You know, there's a lot at stake for them. But these youngsters do find that when they get to, like, the festive season and just get into January, you do feel all these games coming, and it's a burden for you.
And a couple of London derbies in there, away at Tottenham and away at Arsenal as well. We asked the question beforehand then, Mason Mount or Jack Grealish, who came out on top?
Well, Mason Mount comes out on top because he scored the goal. It was a sweet volley. Lovely set-up from Abrahams. Grealish did play well. Lovely in the ball. Maybe sometimes too many touches, if anything. Get your head up and pick the pass. But he doesn't. He likes loads of touches and tees you in and gets a lot of free kicks. But Mount was very, very impressive again tonight.
Villa have won a lot of plaudits during the course of the early part of this season. They played well again this evening, didn't they?
Yes.
But how concerned should they be about the number of goals that they concede and the fact that they are only just outside the relegation zone?
Well, it's like a lot of things, isn't it? It's like we've seen plenty of teams in the past, you go, they're good to watch, they'll be exciting to watch, but they're down in the bottom 6 of the table, you know, and it's still trying to find results to get themselves in front sometimes, or like tonight, they get themselves level and they can't see it through. You know, don't play bad enough to get beaten, but tonight they've walked away yet again with 0.
Yeah, walked away with 0, and they haven't kept a clean sheet away from home in all competitions. So we know Dean Smith loves to play attacking, free-flowing football. He did that at Brentford.
Yeah.
Does he just have to adapt their game a little?
I don't think he's got a place to do it. I think that's a problem. He is a manager who will say, this is the way I play. I believe in. I have to trust and believe in it. And I think that's fine. You know, I think just at certain times, with Grealish and McGinn being so far forward, I think you're asking him to drop back deep. And then because Wesley are people like Trezeguet, they can't get hold of the ball. It just keeps coming back at you and back at you and back at you. So I think he needs another option up front that can someone who can hold the ball up so they can get 20, 30 yards further up the pitch.
Yeah, Wesley, just the 4 goals so far. This is not the return that he was hoping for. Can Liverpool finally put this to bed, Alan McInally?
Couldn't tell you, ball over, headed away. Incidentally, it was remiss of me, Jeff, to say that Alexander-Arnold had gone off. Joe Gomez had come on, not necessarily just to shore things up, but it'll certainly help Liverpool. And Alexander-Arnold did get booked in the first half for his challenge on Digne, so just double-checking. Firmino, great play, he's a chance. Wijnaldum! Goal! That wasn't me, that was Phil Thompson. 5-2, that's it now, it's all over. Liverpool are going to extend that lead back to, I think you said, 8 points. 5-2, and it's an exhale from his manager, Jurgen Klopp, because Jurgen knows maybe we just needed that 5th goal. They've got it, Wijnaldum, right-footed, straight in the bottom corner.
Yeah, they'll be 8 points clear of Leicester City. They will be 11 clear of Manchester City. And you fear oh so much for Marco Silva, his side in the bottom 3 this evening, and tough games to come as well. We've been talking Chelsea and Aston Villa. Let's hear what the Chelsea manager, Frank Lampard, made of it all.
Happy with that, Frank?
Yeah. 3 points. Should have been more comfortable at the end. You know, by far the better team, created a lot of chances, which has been a pretty regular story of our season. We need to be more clinical, but in terms of the team I saw, it was the team that I want to see. You know, West Ham, it wasn't. Probably the one game this season where we've been below par in the basics, and today was completely the team we want again, and I thought we played really well whole game.
Is Tammy injured again, or is it too early to say?
It doesn't seem too bad in there, so I'm presuming no, he's all right.
Are you actually happy to see you committing a few fouls tonight after West Ham?
Yeah, it was an easy element of my team talk in between game was to state the fact of no fouls, which kind of summed up our game at the weekend, which again has been pretty much the opposite of how we've been all season. The reason we've got credit is because of our performances and the energy and the urgency and how we want to play. A lot of speed in that game, and that came away at West Ham, which we must accept that because it can happen, and it was a nice little lesson for us, and the only thing then was a reaction. Today we were back to what we are.
Tammy coming back makes a big difference up front for you.
Yeah, I mean, Tammy at the moment is Tammy. He's a striker that's at near the top of the goal scoring charts in the league. Is showing his all-round game, which stretches defences, starts our press. He's a personality that is growing in our dressing room every day with his enthusiasm and his will to win. And of course, if a player's on such a good run, then they come out of the team. It's normal that you can miss them, and today he came straight back in as he left off.
Good day for Frank Lampard. Excellent day for Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool leading by 5-2 against Everton, and they're in the last couple of minutes of added time. We'll have more for you in a moment. Andy Ruiz Jr. shocked Anthony Joshua back in June. Will it be a repeat or revenge on Saturday? Live coverage from Saudi Arabia gets underway from 5 on Sky Sports Box Office. Sky customers should go to channel 491 or Box Office to book this event. For more information on all the ways to watch, go to skysports.com/Joshua. Virgin Media and TalkTalk customers, please contact your operator. A few knockout blows this evening at Anfield. Liverpool beating Everton by 5 goals to 2. 2 for Divock Origi, 1 for Shaqiri, 1 for Sadio Mane, 1 from Jorginho Wijnaldum. It means that Liverpool restore their 8-point advantage over Leicester at the top of the table. Here's the evidence of that Manchester City now 11 adrift. So it's as you were before the start of this week's game. It's Chelsea winning as well. And down at the bottom, Everton fans, look away now. Bottom 3. Tough games to come. Finished 5-2 then. Alan McInally.
Yeah.
A lot of eyebrows raised at Jurgen Klopp's team selection. But once again, he proved he knows football better than we do. Or you, anyway.
Obviously, he's a manager of Liverpool. Listen, I've got to say, Manny was sincere. Manny's one that he doesn't really drop too many times. You know, he doesn't get his... I don't think so. I think he's happy to take Salah and Firmino out the firing line. But I've got to say, Divock Origi was excellent tonight. I mean, really, really good.
Did he surprise you a little bit? I don't mean that in any sort of disrespectful way. His touch for one of his...
but listen,
incredible.
But not only that, though, his understanding with Mane, because Mane plays a couple of great passes in, there's no question about that, and for Shaqiri as well. But he looks confident. He genuinely looks confident. His finish is not from a player that's like, oh, I don't want to miss this. He was confident in everything he did. He was a handful for them and caused Keane and Holgate big problems most of the game. And his manager will be absolutely delighted. There's absolutely no question with him the way he's played. But not only that, with Shaqiri as well. Shaqiri was very good on the right-hand side. If he had to do his defensive duties, he did them, no question, because you know how the full-backs from Liverpool like to bomb on, and every now and again someone has to do their job. But he will be absolutely delighted with, obviously with the result being a Merseyside derby, but the fact that Origi's bagged a couple of goals in, absolutely, that's what he's in there for.
Any cause for concern at all that, you know, Everton have scored twice, Liverpool still haven't kept a clean sheet at home?
Yeah, a little bit for the simple reason that when they do get to the stages of the Champions League that we're in last year, of course, when you get into the quarters and semis, if they get that far, then you're going to be playing, with the greatest respect to Everton, better quality opposition, and they will get punished more often. I mean, Everton had chances tonight. I mean, they had much more chances than just the 2 goals they had. And maybe, the conversation tomorrow is going to be about Marcus Silva, Jeff, isn't it? Does he keep his job? Does he not? They're 18th, the third bottom. You know, they've got big games coming up.
Did he get some... I mean, obviously the result is wrong.
Yeah.
It's a tough game for them.
Very.
But did he get a number of things wrong tonight?
Well, I mean, he makes a change near the end of the game and doesn't bring on Theo Walcott or Cenk Tosun and brings on Schneiderlin in the middle of the park for Tom Davies, which might have just been light for light because Tom had done a lot of running. You know, he works really hard in the middle of the park. He still brought on Moise Kean with a chance. Moise Kean did have a chance to score. But, I mean, his hands are tied to a certain extent, genuinely, because they don't have absolute top quality to bring on from the bench.
They've spent a fortune.
They've spent a fortune. I agree with you. They've spent a fortune. And I think that's the pressure from the money that Everton have spent is certainly going on the manager. I won't say that Everton played particularly badly and against other opposition might have got something from the game, but when you lose a rotten goal against Leicester and then you get battered by 5 against your near neighbours, then the pressure's going to be on them. Genuinely. It's a great result for Liverpool, incidentally. Great result.
More attempts, actually, for Everton than for Liverpool. This is a statistic that gets thrown out all the time, and I'm going to throw it out again. Okay. I mean, you probably wouldn't expect Everton to come back and win at Liverpool, but they've not won in the Premier League under Marco Silva after they've fallen behind in a game. What does that tell you about the manager?
I still think the quality he's got on the bench is not helping him, genuinely. Listen, he made a change after 35, 36 minutes. Decided that Sadebe had done enough and the actual formation wasn't working. And he brought Bernard on, and Bernard crosses the ball for Richarlison's header, so they get back in the game. Albeit it was only for a little while before it was 3-1 and it goes to 4-1. They managed to get, obviously, the second goal before half-time, and he must think, well, my change has certainly helped us. You know, it's helped us, but they've still conceded 2 goals from Liverpool after that change. But maybe he might have thought he could have started Bernard. You all right there, Tiz? Tiz is falling off the chair on the far side. But genuinely, he's got to take... Listen, we know that it falls with the manager. The manager picks the team. If it doesn't work out, he's going to be under pressure. He made a change after 35 minutes. Now, normally a manager, when he makes a change, thinks, this is not going good. So he recognises something. But to recognise something in the game against Liverpool, you're still pushing rope up a hill because they're up against it most of the night, to be honest.
He is now 10-1 on favourite to be the next manager. Will he get the chance to be in charge for a pretty scary fixture list, which starts with a game against Chelsea and is followed by a game against Manchester United? Then there's a cup game against Leicester, Arsenal at home, Burnley at home, and a couple of away games. It's not the easiest run, that is for sure. OK, still got a couple of games to talk about. We'll be talking about how Wolves have beaten West Ham and how the big relegation crunch down at St Mary's went the way of the home side, but only just. That's next. Let's talk about what happened at St Mary's this evening, shall we? Southampton 2, Norwich 1. Cammy, how could it be that Southampton were clinging on at the end of that game?
Very strange, Jeff. Very strange. The way they surrendered possession, Norwich, in that first half was very, very strange. You know, you think they're going to go there. They've got an opportunity against the side that's slightly vulnerable. You know, we saw them. They got a result against Watford, but Watford took the lead in that game and could have capitalised. And they sat back, they played nice football, never got the ball up to Pukki at all. And then this is where they did the homework. Ralph Hasenhüttl and his coaching staff and his players deserve all the credit for this, because 2 set play goals it was. We know Ward-Prowse, we know all about his delivery. It's absolutely fantastic. He took that free kick from that side, but it's the zonal marking, and they're all stood, and they're like statues. All the Norwich defenders, they're put in their zone, and I'm sure they're told by their manager, even though we put you in a zonal position, you've still got to attack the ball. But none of them on either goal, you know, the second one from Bertrand. But the first one, we know Ward-Prowse got great delivery, and all he does, Danny Ings, is make a wonderful little run, gets the flick on, 1-0 up. Then there's a corner. Once again, the zonal marking are just standing, watching, waiting for the header to be flicked on, and the one player on the move is one of the full-backs, Ryan Bertrand. So 2-0 up, and you thought it's going to be really difficult for them. But they, to be fair to them, Jeff, they came out in the second half and they had a go. And they got the ball up to Pukki, which he'd not even touched the ball in the first half. One chance, a goal. All of a sudden, they're back in it. And then Southampton started to cling on.
62% possession Norwich had in that second half, and 9 attempts. That's maybe the key to both of these sides in the hope for survival. They both have a goal scorer, a proper goal scorer in Danny Ings and Teemu Pukki. Could they both stay up?
Like you say, if you can get the ball to Pukki, you know, I've seen them twice now. I saw them at Bournemouth, and once again, that was a game where they never got the ball to him at all. But if you get it to him, he'll score. He'll score. He's got 2 fantastic feet. He seems to have that zone around him where, even though the player's trying to nick the ball away from him, they can't do it because of his ability. So if they create chances for him, they'd have a wonderful, wonderful chance of staying up. But the first pass seemed to be, in that first 45 minutes, backwards or sideways. Nobody's looking forward, and he's running around, and eventually you see him going back into his own half to try and pick the ball up just to get a touch. Because we all know what it's like. When you go through a game, in the first 45 minutes of a game of football, and you don't get a touch, you don't feel as if you're part of the game itself. So he was having to chase back towards his own half just to get any sort of possession.
Ings has got 10 goals this season. Pukki's got 10 goals. Compare that with Watford, whose top goal scorer has got 2. Or if you like, compare it with West Ham, whose top goal scorer is Haller, who has 4. Tomo, you watched the game at Wolves. After the game, in the press conference, Manuel Pellegrini said, "We dominated most parts of the game." Would you agree?
Wolves won the game comfortably. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe he's said that. They tried to pass the ball poorly at times. Just couldn't sort of do anything with it. Wolves are always the better team. The best chance I think that West Ham had was the second half, was with Snodgrass when he had a poor touch. Most of the game was about chances, maybe not great chances for Wolves, but they were always in. Listen, this was a team that we know, West Ham side, that went to Chelsea and were aggressive in the nature, closing down, all pulling together. And you get something out of the game. This game has passed before me, the 2 sides very early on. And it was just, oh, well, we want to play, we just want to pass it. Nobody, and it was the aggression. And I mean the aggression in passing the ball from West Ham. Boom, boom, getting forward, closing down, putting tackles in. There's nothing like that. They just literally went through the game. And yet, when you look on the other side, you had up front Jimenez, Jota, Traore, who was all aggression, pace, trying to push forward. Neves and Moutinho in the middle of the park were the better players. I can't understand it. Maybe that's a get-out for himself, trying to make it. There was a lot of the West Ham fans who were just leaving before the end. As soon as the second goal, I know it was 86 minutes, but Wolves were by far the better team. I mean, Nuno Espirito Santo, I'd like to hear what he says then after the game. Well, we were lucky.
Did you worry for West Ham when we started the season with such high hopes? And OK, they lost. Mikel Antonio wasn't available tonight. He's injured again. And I looked at their bench. We've got Roberto, who was the goalkeeper, substitute goalkeeper, and then also on the bench you've got Zabaleta, Matsuaku, Carlos Sanchez, Nathan Holland, Albion Ajeti, and Yarmolenko. I mean, there aren't many options there.
Well, this is what I wrote down, Jeff, on my notes, is that Snodgrass went off, Yarmolenko, and he's not the most aggressive person, as I was saying. Then the young boy, Nathan Holland, he comes on, and then Ajeti comes on. It's not a great to sort of say, well, we're going to have a go with these guys. There is not enough there with these players. I don't think enough want to. This is what I see is away from home against the middle of the table teams. And well, I'm not disrespecting Wolves, but the top six, as we've seen against Chelsea, they have a go, most of these West Ham players. They always seem to turn up. But when it's an easier team, and I am levelling against it, I don't think they want it enough in enough games for them to sort of stay up there and challenge that big six.
I mean, from a Wolves perspective, I mean, that's 10 Premier League games unbeaten now. And they're doing it with the so-called curse of the Europa League, and everybody thinks it's impossible. We've seen it with Burnley and the such like. What are they doing to get it right?
I just think they're basically a very good. They know what they do. They don't change it. Even when things were going wrong, they still kept the three at the back. They had the wing-backs. And I think Jimenez up front never stops. Absolutely chases, and no wonder they bring him off late in games, because he absolutely runs the legs off himself. And Diego Jota, I think, is an absolutely terrific player. He plays on the left. They have Adama Traore on the right. And so they've got great pace there, which can turn defence into attack very quickly. There's a lot going for these. I think early on, you get it into players' minds that, oh, you're going to be tired. They start believing that. And I think maybe the management has said, no, let's just go out there and let's play. And they've continued to play the same sides. I do think Raul Jimenez is an absolutely terrific player up front. And he did come off, Coutone come on, and he got 86 minutes. He got one with nearly his first touch. The first goal came from Dendoncker, who plays three at the back. But this was a set piece. The ball's come across from the left-hand side. Moutinho, great deliverer of the ball. And this is 6-yard box. And he's come in, Dendoncker, with his foot up like that, about 2 foot off the floor, and knocks it into the corner. Nobody on the post.
Brilliant. Another great win for Wolves in what is turning out to be an absolutely fantastic season. By the way, you can see all the goals from this evening's games right now on our YouTube channel, or also on the Sky Sports app. And there are some absolutely cracking goals to tell you about, to show you as well. The debate is coming up next on Sky Sports. Adam Smith's the host this evening, and your guest Lee Hendry, what will he have to say about Aston Villa? And Andy Hinchcliffe, what will he have to say about the problems at Everton? So there we are. Was a little bit different, wasn't it? Our Super Six? Well, our six. Shall we do it again? We will, but just with 4 on Saturday at midday. Bye-bye for now.
Cheers now.
Well done.